everybody, and welcome to Cobalt Press. We're here, the Well Tree Burns, and we're back for another week. And we've got the full crew with us today to get up to no good again. And last week we got up to quite a lot of no good, and we're hoping to do some more no good. So let's go and meet the cast and crew. How are we doing? Who are we playing? The start of our Dungeon Master for today. Dan, how you doing, Dan?
I am awesome because I remembered at the very last second to unmute my microphone. So I'm ready to play D&D on this here internet thing. Yeah, hi, I'm Dan, and I'm going to be your Dungeon Master here in the world of Midgard from Cobalt Press for some 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. And we are in the middle of becoming fugitives, super wanted, it's real bad. And that's pretty much right where we left off, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. We got McCloken back with us today. How you doing, my friend?
Hi, my name's McCloken. Today I'll be playing Cloak, our lovable gnome ranger, who speaks the truth and knows that we're going to be fugitives, Birdie. So, I would just like to add, this has been an ongoing argument. Yeah, I'm excited. I have a plan, and I'm going to keep it to myself to see how Dan reacts to my plan.
I'm sorry, but you saying I have a plan does not inspire me with confidence.
Worries me greatly. Someone's going to die.
Probably.
Damn it, yeah. Oh boy. Well, fantastic stuff. And of course, we got Simply Jackson back with us today. Simply, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm a little rattle-brained because I'm ready for con time, but I'm excited about this to sit down and like not focus on like dealing with packing or anything for like at least a couple hours. But speaking of people who might die, I played Tilly, our dwarf fighter. She is currently sitting at, hold on to your pants, guys, 9 HP. So this is going to be a lot of fun, just to hobble back to town, unnoticed, completely, cuddle with Bear, get some rest, have a couple of beers. You know, that's probably how it'll go, right?
Sure. Sure. Sometimes that happens in this game. You know, sometimes we do spend a lot of time in taverns and getting drunk in a fuck house. So, you know, it's as likely as anything else. But we also might get murdered to death. Fantastic stuff. How are you doing, Birdie, today?
Hi, everybody. I'm Birdie, aka the Birdiesaurus, and I happen to know that just because Cloak says we should do something doesn't mean we automatically have to do it. And we are our own robots, and we can make our own decisions. Damn it. And I have all the cool stuff anyways, so fuck you, Cloak.
Tell that to all the people who just got murdered by a nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm Landis. I'm a Gearforged Warlock. It's fine. Don't worry about me. I just hang out and shoot stuff.
Yeah.
We have a lot of issues to work out right now. It's okay.
Yeah, we're working through it. Fantastic stuff. We've got Scarlet off with us tonight. Scarlet, how's it going?
I have some concerns about this plan. I'm good. I'm just packing up my stuff, getting ready to become a fugitive, I guess. And you know what this means? We can't have the Silk Scabbard as our base anymore. So what's the point?
Yeah, it's true. We probably shouldn't have been using it as a base for a long time.
Look. I am happy with the fact that we probably just kept using it as a base just so that Cloak had the chance to say fuck house every week.
Yeah. It's true.
Thanks for ruining it, Cloak.
It was worth all of the people who ended up in prison. Those memories will cherish forever. As will, in particular, Riordan.
Yes.
A lot of good memories.
I am going to be playing Rowan, the Ravenfolk cleric of Wotan, who is only marginally better than Tilly at the moment on 12 HP. So, like grandmother, like granddaughter, I guess. And yeah, vote in the chat for who's worse, setting fire to the entire citadel or setting a Nothic out on hundreds of unsuspecting people.
Yeah, that happened. That was a whole thing. As myself, I'll be playing Riordan, Dampier Paladin. He's looking fine. He's been healing people. He's been figuring out machines, solving puzzles, all over, just saving the day, saving people's lives. It's just a really good paladin. If take your archetypal paladin. That's Riordan. He's just a good guy. He doesn't do it for any other alternative reason or motive. He's just here to help people.
Just here to, he's a man of the people.
Yeah, and he's got like 20 in deception, so you can choose whether to believe that or not. But Dad, I'll hand over to you, my friend, to goodness, remind us a bit of what happened last week on the show, I guess, and take us into tonight's episode of The Well Tree Burns.
Sure. So, as previously mentioned, everyone is probably now wanted. In our last installment, they were effecting their escape from the Citadel of Zobek. It's the seat of government and also the military and the spy masters. And there's really just a whole lot of stuff going on in and around the Citadel that you really don't want to get on the wrong side of. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was just the, I just thought it was the...
We pissed off MI6.
Yeah,
or CIA or whatever.
we went to the state capitol and just started peeing all over it.
Did you just V for Vendetta this?
I mean,
did we destroy the entire government?
I mean, you didn't destroy
Are we now kings?
No, Cloak.
Wait a
minute.
Right. So, you were breaking your compadres out of imprisonment in the Citadel dungeons, and things went a little bit south when you ran into a paladin of the Order of the Undying Sun knighthood and a wizard that they were working with that was studying your dark artifacts. And murdering them, you set the whole place on fire using some intense infernal magic, Landis. and using your possessed Nothic friend, who is being controlled by a sentient magic item once worn by your friend Cloak, made your escape from the Citadel. In the course of doing so, which mostly went without a hitch, I was very impressed by your guys' stealth and split second decisions, and basically rolling really, really clutch when you super needed to. You managed to sneak almost all the way out, and you turned the Nothic loose thanks to Cloak's cunning plan to, I believe it was, kill everyone he can. Was pretty much close enough to the quote. And the Nothic, the aberration with one eye that can rot people with a gaze and sharp claws and teeth, just ran off to go do that. But hey, that cleared your way to get out. After fighting some... They weren't exactly Gearforged. They had a great deal in common with Gearforged, and perhaps they were altered or something was not quite right about them. These strange creatures, which Landis, after destroying them, you managed to scoop up some fragments of one of their armor and actually one of the soul stones that resided inside the creature, which held its animating force. And so you might be able to determine more of that later. But you all bailed out with the 6 fugitives, the cultists of Morena, who followed Riordan. You sprung them from jail. Glaz vanished into some strange darkness at the magical behest of his sentient ring Walker. I'm sure that's fine. But you all escaped from the bowels of the Citadel into the cartways, out through this secret sort of mostly unknown route that has been lost until you found it using a strange construct with illicit divination magics. And that's where you find yourselves now. We're going to go ahead and move forward. I'm not going to make you, pick through second by second through the cartways. You retrace that circuitous winding route through crumbling old tunnels, ancient basements and catacombs, disused mine shafts that once were mined by kobolds under the watchful eye of the Strauss family before they were brought low about 100 years ago. And you find yourselves back in more familiar tunnels in the cartways now. Cloak, you think you have decent bearings at this point, that you could navigate to some familiar places in the city, depending on where you would like to go. By your best reckoning, you are somewhere beneath... let me flip over to my Zobek map at midgardmap.koboldpress.com. You are somewhere beneath the merchant district at this point. which puts you basically just south of the Derry River, on the other side of the river from the Citadel. So you've got a decent amount of distance between you and danger at this very moment, assuming that no one is pursuing you through the tunnels. And as far as you can tell, you were not pursued through the tunnels. You have the 6 fugitives kind of led by Kaja with you. Mm-hmm. And they are mostly keeping to themselves, huddling close, and Kaja is really den-mothering them at this point, and just kind of moving them along in your wake, keeping them out of your way whenever you have to scout, or if any trouble pops up that you have to deal with. Thankfully, nothing has accosted or attacked you, but the cartways are fairly dangerous. So, you are at a little bit of a crossroads, so to speak. And I will remind you that Edwin, Landis's familiar, the imp, made it out of the Citadel with Cloak's haversack that had Glaz's magic items and equipment in it. And it's about this time, Landis, that you feel his voice sort of float across your awareness. Boss, I'm back at your house. There's people here. It's not guards, so that's good.
What people? What kind of people? What did they? Did they say something? Did they see you?
No, they don't see me. Come on, what do you take me for? I think they work for.
Bad day. I'm just checking. Okay.
I think they work for that Greymark fellow.
Okay. Can you get in the house?
Yeah, I can get in, but it sounds like they think they own it, or he owns it, or something.
Okay. Are they inside or outside?
Yeah, both.
Oh, okay.
There's probably 5 of them here.
To not go inside. Don't make yourself known. In fact, I would like you to leave and go to. Just go wait at the bar for me, but like on top of it, not inside. Don't go inside anywhere right now.
Sure. Which bar?
Our favorite bar.
Okay. So what sort of?
I don't know the person so bad.
It's okay. What sort of bars would Landis frequent, given that Landis doesn't drink or eat? So would it be more like places that are entertaining? Would it be places to get in a fight? What?
He would have some connections to a bar from his past where there were a lot of shady people around. So it might be that bar.
Okay.
It would be a spot where some of his compatriots and he might meet for a chat.
So let's talk about how shady you think this bar might be. Might it be something along the lines of thugs and smugglers? Or would it be along the lines of, if you need to buy yourself like a black market spell or curse, that might be where you hang out? Okay, so then you're sending Landis to the docks.
Shady.
You're sending him to the docks district to, I believe it's called the Cracked Seal, which is where the Cloven Nine hang out.
Oh, goody.
I was about to say.
Or the Broken Seal, sorry. It's been a little while. It's been a minute. Sorry, folks. Right. So as you're when you tell Landis, or you are Landis, when you tell Edwin, don't go in, I want you to leave, before you even tell him where to go, you get this slight feeling of vertigo, and you know that he has taken wing and he's flying through the night sky. And so once you tell him to head to the bar, he's on his way there.
Okay. Good. Okay, so guys, just to let you know, apparently Lord Greymark, our good friend that started this mess, is at my house and thinks he now owns it. Not him, his people. His people are at my house and they think they own my house, which they don't. So I am a little bit angry right now. And I have some words to say, but I don't know if that's the right place to go right now, because I'll say them and it won't be pretty. We'll just cause more problems. We need to rest.
For sale?
Okay.
No, it wasn't for sale. It wasn't. It's not for sale. That's my house.
Wait,
that's no, that's
made
mine.
some money, it sounds
belongs
like.
to me. No,
Well,
I'm angry.
We weren't going to go there in the first place. We're going to go to the abandoned tannery and hold down in there.
I mean, you can do what you want. Yeah, I was gonna go there, but that's fine. We're not going there now. We're gonna go there eventually because I have words. I have words to say.
Good idea for you right now.
Who exactly are his people?
I don't know. I don't know him. You guys know him better than I do at this point. Who are his people?
Sounds like they repossess houses. You know, those people that come around and take all of your stuff. They're probably taking all of your stuff. You know, in a van.
Yeah, it's the tax guys.
Yeah, like
if anybody's repoing your stuff, it's probably the Master of Coins of Zobek. So you're all following Cloak to the Ash Mill / Lower Zobek district to make your way to the abandoned tannery. Is that what I'm to take from this?
I do want to point out that before we went on this journey, I did mention that Edwin had filled his backpack with some of my gems and the cash that had been, or the coin that had been given me by the guy.
Sure.
And a change of clothes for Edwin, a cloak for him, a little cape.
Does he wear clothes?
I was thinking he had a little demon cape.
You dress him up. You try to dress him up, but he hates it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he keeps losing the capes you try to put on him because they get in the way of his wings.
Okay, but I think they're so
crap,
cute.
boss!
So
I dropped another one. What do you know? Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. We'll make you a new one. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Great, fine.
Practice
so, you all make your way through the network of underground tunnels away from the river, and as you get away from the river, it gets less musty and mildewy and damp, and it becomes dry and dusty and sort of cobwebbed, and you start seeing more evidence of other sorts of life that don't live quite so close to the river. Cloak, let's see, you know this area. You've spent plenty of time moving around this area, so you can navigate no problem between that and your urban natural explorer. So you're not going to get lost retracing these familiar paths. As for the rest of you, Kaja speaks up at this point and says, have you thought about what we're going to do? I'm not sure we can go back to the Silk Scabbard.
No, you can't. You need to get the fuck out of the city. We have to work on doing that. We need to lay low for a little bit, and then I'll tell you the ideas I have.
All right.
I also think that Ryodan should have some say in it, since heals your people.
Scratching his fingernails. Yes, what? Sorry? Should I? Yes, it's a good idea. What are we doing?
You're coming up with the idea. Oh, no, on second thoughts, Cloak.
Right.
You come up with the idea. I don't think delegating to
honestly,
Ryodan is ever
up to me. I want to go see what's going on at Landis's house. You know, it's just, I love drama like that.
You can go. I'm not going. I will cause problems, and I'm trying to be a better robot person. And
you sound. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Well, you're doing this thing where you're sounding like you might be insane, but you're looking normal.
I
so
know.
I say don't
I'm
go for a while.
feeling somewhere in between myself. It's
a good spot to be.
Can we sit down? I want to rest for a little while.
How about this? How about I go off and have a little look-see, Mr. Gray, what's his name? See what's going on there, sort out the whole repo situation, and hook up with you guys at the lobby. What's it called?
That sounds good.
The fuck house. I don't know where my brain is. Fuck lobby. That sounds like a terrible. That's even darker, isn't it? It's just a lobby. It's not even a house.
That's a great idea. Great idea. Do that. Yeah, and while you're there, you could also don't murder them. I'm not supposed to do that anymore, but just hurt them real bad, and also get all my stuff and bring it to me, because I am otherwise going to have problems.
Okay.
I'll talk to him. I'll say that much.
Okay.
I'm a people person, Cloak.
Cloak.
This is a good idea.
Where's my
I'm
bag?
definitely a person.
You currently have no bag, Cloak. All right, so you're able to make your way through the cartways into that broken through that was once bricked up doorway into the basement of the tannery, and you can smell it coming long before you see it, because that stench of rot and that iron, coppery, metallic, just sort of thick tang in the air just crawls into your nose and across the back of your throat, and that just fills your head with every breath you take. It is awful. Landis, you recall seeing this at least when you were looking through Edwin's eyes. I believe you were following Cloak as he went through the cartways. This is that basement with the square pillars and those weird gutters or channels at both sides, and there is just
and the blood.
Old blood.
Yeah. A lot of blood. Yeah.
Like, you know how a gutter gets dirty with rotten leaves and kind of silt and mud, and, you know, somebody has to go clear that out? Imagine that, but it's rotting, clotting blood filling these channels, spattered up on the walls. It is vile.
Yeah. Yeah,
Loving
that's
that.
great. It's yeah. Landis notices. Mm-hmm.
There are several old, like, remains of rotten corpses that have been stripped by scavenger creatures and their bones gnawed and scattered. It looks like there were chains hanging from the ceiling, at least in one point, and there was a corpse hanging from that. Whether it was cut down or just sort of rotted and disarticulated and fell, you're not sure. It's just bad things happened here.
It was just a really wild party. It was
Super wild party.
absolutely. It was just
Looks like-
super lit.
Looks a lot like the fuck basement. At times.
Not okay.
Like
So,
this.
what's your plan? I assume you guys don't want to hang out in the rot basement at this point.
No.
The remains of the blood elemental, the blood zombies.
Well, probably on the upper floor that doesn't smell, because I remember the smell only comes out when it's open. So, like, going up there and then talking to everyone in hushed tones, and I was like,
Look, okay, A, I need my bag. We need to get that here. I need that secure. It's driving me insane. B, we shouldn't go to your house if they, like, honestly, what if he's like, this is a coup, and he tried to get you killed so he could take over your property, and that. Instead of Reardon over there, it's probably just going to get him killed because they're all going to attack him, or he's going to kill them, make a commotion, and then the guards are going to chase him, and he's not sneaky. So,
I am not sending anyone anywhere. Reardon wants to go, and he's a grown-ass
mind
adult,
adult.
so he's allowed to do that if he wants to.
and Reardon,
Correction,
Glad
he
you've
is
noticed.
not a grown-ass adult.
I'm glad
Have you
somebody
seen
is
him?
finally noticing that I am, in fact, an
No,
adult capable
no.
of making my own decisions that impact other people. Didn't sound right.
no, that's it, okay. Let's all take an hour, fucking relax, okay? This is what we need to do, because I'm fucked up.
I
I
think we should take an hour for.
I'm
Have
feeling
you
fine.
seen
Tilly's just been like leaning against the wall, just like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
Tilly
Letting
is,
off the goal.
like-
Let's go. What?
there's probably like a pattering, dripping sound, and you realize that Tilly's probably still bleeding from just so many lacerations, blade wounds, bits of the fragments where the exploding creatures ripped her flesh to pieces. Yeah, she is in a rough way. And
I'm
Rowan,
fine.
Rowan
All the blood from
barely-
down there. It's.
Rowan barely even looks corporeal at this point. Like, if you look at her at various places, you can see quite literally through her body to the wall beyond.
That's
I'm gonna-
exactly what I'm doing, by the way.
I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna cast.
Why
Cure
is that
Wounds
so
on-
creepy?
It's because Dad. Oh my god, I called Dan. That's so cute. You see so much of the farmer I never had.
DM
It's 'cause
Daddy.
Dan said when you look at her in certain places, she looks. And that made me think that's what Raidan's doing. Like, keep doing that.
Well, it's like you're talking to a
Um,
brick wall.
I'm gonna go because I cast Cure Wounds on you guys last time, but I'm gonna do it again.
I'm
Once
gonna
feeling
stop you right there, Cloak. Do you have any spell slots left?
2 level 1 spells.
Oh, okay, got it. You burned all your level
Yeah.
2s. Okay.
Or
Yeah.
why not
My
a
last
short
got
rest?
Huh?
Why not a short rest?
Oh, she's bleeding. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds to help with the bleeding. Okay, let's do it. 7 points, 7 hit points, and then to. Okay, my reputation still stands. Rowan gets 2 hit points. I'm not
Great.
good at you.
Oh, thank
Alright.
you,
Billy
Chloe.
Billy leans over to Rowan. Did you say something into him? I don't understand. Looks like
I don't know if he likes me very much, honestly. Or maybe he's always like this.
I don't know if he
I
likes
know I'm
anybody.
short, but like you guys just talk over me so many times.
It's
I'll cast
the way
the.
to talk, apparently.
I don't know how she can talk over you. You're basically
While
the same
you're
height.
while you're tending to some people's wounds, Kaja and Diren and the other cultists from the Silk Scabbard, they kind of huddle together and find a relatively clean and not rotting corner of the abandoned tannery. There's really nowhere super clean in here. It's been abandoned for many, many years. There's a lot of dry rot in some of the wood. The furniture is functional but kind of nasty, but they're just sort of oblivious to most of that at this point, and they're just sort of clinging to each other at the moment and just trying to settle and clear their heads and figure out what to do next. So you said there was some talk of taking a short rest. If you guys want to do that, that's no problem. The hour passes a little tensely but uneventfully. I assume you're going to be wanting to, like, somebody will be keeping watch out the windows just in case. If you recall, I believe the back door was busted in at one point by some of you people who might be Tilly. So you know that the back door is not super secure unless somebody wants to go, like, drag some furniture in front of it or spike it shut with pitons or something. You can do that, no problem. So you're able to get your hour's worth of rest in. You complete a short rest.
Can I
and
interrupt?
Yes.
Can
Yeah,
I
please.
do something during this short rest?
Depends on what you want to do.
Well, something very resty. If Cloak
Resty
is
good.
looking out the window and trying to see what's going on out there, I'm gonna walk over to him and kind of casually lean against the wall or something, like, no big deal, this is no big deal, this is just a casual conversation. Hey, Cloak, right? You're Cloak. Yeah.
Yes.
So this place here that we are currently in, curious, how'd you come about it? Where did you learn of its existence?
Oh, what was it? There's vampires, and we traced them here, and we murdered them all. And there's blood elementals in the basement. And then Reardon became a paladin. It was really good. He was like, I hate my god, and then all of a sudden something happened, and he's like, let's go kill heretics, and I was like, what the fuck? And then
I did have a mental breakdown. And
Yep.
it
Okay.
was for the best, though. For
also,
the best.
what the fuck is my bag?
Don't worry about it, it's safe.
No,
So how long have you had control of this room here?
I don't know, weeks, maybe?
We put an
Dan?
offer down on the property a few weeks ago.
Yes.
When I was spying through little Edwin's eyes last time, did I see any bloodness that I would think was fresh as of in the last 2 weeks?
I mean,
Or do all look pretty old?
Old is relative. It's not like CSI Zobek here, but
It could be if we wanted.
like the blood that's done, there's a lot of friggin' blood down there. Like
Right.
bodies and maybe cattle
Yeah.
worth of blood down there. You'd say several weeks to a month old seems right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is Landis is concerned that going through here, Cloak made no reaction whatsoever to the fact that this is obviously like a fucking blood pit. And so he's trying to ascertain, like, why Cloak is so okay with it. When he went through the last time.
Why don't you make me a wisdom insight check?
Oh, okay. I need dice for that.
Yes. Welcome to
Yes.
Dungeons and Dragons, where we roll dice to determine outcomes.
Usually helps.
Let's see. That is, you said a wisdom insight?
Wisdom insight, yes,
That's-
please.
14.
14. All right. So, given his demeanor when you were spying on him through your imp, when he went through here the first time, and then just kind of, going over some questions with him, grilling him about it a little bit. So it seems like he was nonplussed by everything going on down in there, mostly because he knew to expect it. So that checks out with him having come here to fight things, and particularly if there were blood elementals, whatever the hell that is, that would account for, the vast quantities of sanguine refuse down there. So that could simply account for it. But with a 14, I think you'll also get the feeling, particularly having adventured with Cloak now a little bit, that he is a hard, calloused little soul. You're not sure that too much in the way of this sort of thing would get to him. He seems pretty inured to this manner of brutality, honestly.
Okay. And do I get any sense while he's talking that he has any connection whatsoever to it? Because I'm still creeped out that Edwin feels like some sort of kinship to him.
Like, you mean, was he responsible for all of the blood? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I don't know about responsible, but he just seems like, I don't know, connected to the blood and the destruction. Like, does he feel connected to this room in any way?
I would say probably not. No.
Okay.
Like, you get more of a casual vibe off of him. Like, maybe it was just sort of part of a job, and now he knows about this place, and it's a decent place to hide.
All right. Well, I'm still creeped out by the Edwin thing. So Landis is gonna, after he's grilled you for an hour, essentially, he's gonna just kind of move away, but real awkwardly, and still just kind of staring at you as he backs slowly to the other side of the room,
the last 30 minutes of that is you asking questions and him going, "Where's my bag?" And every time you ask a question, it's like, "Where's my bag?"
It is safe. Edwin has it.
Yeah, bring it here so we can...
Not until we know that we are not compromised. I may not know exactly what that shit is, but I can tell how powerful it is, and there is no way in hell I am letting someone get their hands on it that is not /me or Edwin.
No, I want my bag.
So you should be thanking me because the bag is safe right now, and if you had it, it probably would have been taken or destroyed.
All right, so I
just lean into Tilly. To Tilly and Ron say, "There's two of them."
Point downwards,
all right.
Cloak, and go. Apparently, you can hear us.
We're just going to pause for a moment after Landis goes off about how safe the bag is, and it's nowhere that anyone in the wrong hands is going to get to it. We're going to
told him to go to the top of the bar, not inside.
We're going to cut to the bar where this invisible imp is lurking with this bag, kind of clutching it and looking around a little nervously, hoping that no one can see him, where just below him there is a circle in powdered silver and bone ash that has been spread out on an empty room floor, surrounded with infernal script. There's an iron brazier in the middle of it, full of what look like humanoid eyeballs, and there are burning coals being dropped into it by a corpulent tiefling with antlers that have been shorn off near the skull, covered in scarified infernal script and runes, and he's dropping burning coals by hand and chanting as dark magic swirls around him and his eyes turn black. And so that's where these artifacts are not falling into the wrong hands.
Perfectly normal. Does he tell me this? Does he explain to me what's going on?
Nope. He's just like, "Okay, boss, I'm at the bar. Waiting for you."
Listen.
So what
would happen is if Cloak will not leave me alone about this, I probably would actually say, "Okay, listen, I'll check in right now. Okay, if you just shut up for 5 seconds, and then I will check in with him and ask him, is everything okay? How are the tablets? What's it like over there? Is anyone talking about us?
Everything's fine. It looks like the fire is getting under control at the Citadel. It's still burning, but it looks like it's not spreading, at least not as much. The Griffins are all buzzing around. We kicked the Hornet's Nest, boss. They are pissed. But over here, up on the roof, it's pretty much just me.
Did you happen to see
I've chosen not to look in the bag, so I assume the tablets are fine, but I'm not looking at them.
Okay,
no, I haven't seen your one-eyed freak.
Okay, good. Okay, so Cloak, he's fine. He is hanging out somewhere safe, and he said the griffins are still out, and the castle is kind of still on fire, but not as bad as it could be.
Here!
What?
Get him the fuck here! Get him the fuck here! You fucking need that right now.
Sorry, I blinked out for a second. What did you say?
Oh,
I was in Edwin's head.
You were just staring at the screen, and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. So Landis, you flash back into your senses, and Cloak has just been jabbering at you this whole time. You have no idea. We're going to flash forward. You finish your short rest. If anybody has resources that recover on a short rest, such as Landis, your spell slots, you recover them. Channel divinities, I believe, for our divine types recover, and you may spend hit dice to recover hit points if you are wounded. Recall that you may spend as many as you like, one at a time, and add your Constitution modifier to each die when you spend it.
Ah, shit! I forgot to add my con modifier. Oh well, I can do that now, I guess.
Yep, do that. So, Landis, did you want to have Edwin bring the bag to you, or are you comfortable leaving him where he is for now?
I would have asked Cloak why he thinks it's safe enough here to bring the bag here.
Because if we need to, we can get to the fucking cartways, okay? The fucking out there, whatever, the fucking flying thing with the fucking griffins, you don't know what abilities they have. I don't know if they
Cloak language.
Hey Dan, can you remind me how close this building is, the tannery is, to the docks? We're pretty close, right?
It's like not super close. I have. Let's see. So
I'm trying to figure out the important thing, which is how we get our bear back.
Yeah.
I have a plan for that.
All right.
We've lost so much.
We have lost so much. So it's probably So it's probably a good half mile between the abandoned tannery and the docks out on the outer edge of the gullet.
Okay. Tilly will kind of half from rest wake up and be like, I mean, don't forget, we still have my boat that we can get away from if we need to, but I'm not going anywhere without Bear. We gotta find her first. But going back to sleep now.
Listen, I will have Edwin bring the bag back, but he's holding on to it. That's the only way I'll have him come back.
I love the bag drama.
He can go invisible. You can't. It's safer with him than it is with you. You know I'm right.
I hate it when Mum and Dad fight, or Dad and Dad fight, or Robot and Dad fight. I hate it when they fight. Brings it all back up again, you know? The whole my parents being dead thing.
Okay, fucking fine here.
Wonder why I messed up.
How about instead of talking about this bag, we figured out where our dear friends Kaja and the rest of the cultists are going to go, because they are also being hunted now.
I'm gonna sneak it out.
And I'm very concerned about that. I am. It's my top priority.
We can
I've
tell.
been very clear about that with everyone. It's my top priority.
Sneak them out, but to wear a cloak. They can't stay in Zobek, but where are they going to go?
Okay, this is what we have. When we began our adventures, I found a way through the cartways that leads us past the city walls, and I can get them out of the city unseen. But they're gonna have
a place in the woods.
Well, I'm not gonna send them to the Margaret. That's insane.
Right, that would be a response I didn't...
There's a bunch of smuggler routes that move around. They're like on rafts and stuff like that that get across the river. And we can get around the Margrave or up north like we planned. and then because we should go talk that talking squirrel.
I mean, I love
this
the
thing.
idea of
Someone
leaving the
has
city.
someone has got to explain the talking squirrel thing to me, because you
I
sound like
dreamed
a fucking
I
crazy
met it.
person.
Are you
I met it a couple of times.
talking about a Ratatosk?
Is that what it was?
Remember,
You just
guys,
called it
it was
a
when
squirrel.
we found out that I was the chosen one. The squirrel told me in my vision, Riordan, you are the chosen one. This is why you're here. And then you all follow. That's when you decided to follow me and take part in this whole thing. And then I had some divine intervention and suddenly became able to smite people from God. Now, if that isn't a sign.
I think when we talked to you, you might have been a little under the weather. Oh, that too. Yeah.
I'm still confused. Your god is a squirrel?
As far as I know, yes.
You don't want to meet his
Or
god.
maybe that's someone different, but there was certainly a squirrel involved, and they were by a tree and it was burning, and they said, Riordan, you're the chosen one, or something to that effect. You need to
And it was a dream.
go and stop the bad guys. In a vision. It was very much a vision, very real,
right.
very much not a dream. And
Well,
then when I awoke, everyone said, yes, Riordan, you're the chosen one, that's why you're here, we need you. And then, lo and behold, off I go and defeat the bad guys, and that whole thing we did a couple of weeks ago,
he is.
you're welcome.
He isn't wrong about being the chosen one. That
Okay.
is
I'm not.
actually correct.
No.
Well, I trust you more than I do a squirrel, but still not sure why we have to go talk to a squirrel. It's fine. Whatever. Listen,
I can leave. I can take or leave the squirrel. But what really is important is that I am the chosen one, and I think we all need to remember.
Okay. Okay, oh chosen one. What do you propose that we do?
Well,
Probably burning heretics, I'm guessing.
I like the idea of getting them out of the city. I just don't have the idea of going with them. So maybe we have some friends, or we could send away some money, and good luck. Sort of like when you have children, and you just sort of, good luck.
I love that Riordan's solution for everything is just like pay them off and get them out of his life.
It's all right. Just take them to and from the home. Sometimes the nuns take them for free. And you just good luck. We could do that with them, or there is a possibility of finding a safe location here in the city to keep them at least for a while we sort this whole thing. And I won't forget. Let's not forget that this Greymark fellow is our friend, the Master of Coin, who owns Landis's property and presumably many others.
No,
and could find us
no. Not owned Landis's property. Landis
I forgot.
owned Landis's property.
It just really sounds like he owns your property.
He
I
doesn't.
have concerns about this Greymark fellow, and the fact that
He's a
he wanted
powerful
us
friend.
he wanted us out for some reason.
Exactly. To do a task for him. And in return, we can ask for a safe place, mansion maybe. I don't know. Fuck house. Again, just rebuild it from scratch. Doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, what do you do with rich friends and bullies? That's right, suck up to them. So that they give you what they want and don't hurt you.
If we want to go into a conspiracy theory, right? The Master of Coin probably paid off saying, hey, he said, I paid off so many people not to talk about blah, blah, blah. But maybe what if it's a ruse? And he told people, hey, don't spread the word yet. I'll take care of it and I'll bring them to you. And then he convinced us to go there, right? And then
I suspect he's plotting treason or something, yes, and he's using us to do it because no one cares about us and we're dispensable and we're far enough removed from any affiliation that no one would suspect us working for him. So we're out on a limb already. We're for high treason. He could cast us aside if he wished to, but we might be more useful to him, especially if he has something else planned. Because I took one look at him and I thought, there's a devious man. I like him. So I can promise you, as a devious man myself, that's my best bet, is that he's making some move against the government, using us as his instruments. That's why he's kept us around. Would have had us killed if we weren't going to do something for him.
So true.
So one thing I will throw out there from all of that just happened, a couple of things resonate with a few of you, and that is that if you wanted to find safe ways out of the city, you could use the route that Paula was kidnapped through by the kobolds way back, which I believe is what Cloak was referring to. You will probably have to take them up onto the street for at least parts of it to get there. Or you know of the perfect place to find smugglers and flesh peddlers down in the Cartway's black market. You might be able to find safe ways out for them through those channels as well.
That's a good idea.
That's for yourselves if you don't want to.
Yeah, we do have a buddy in town who knows how to get things in and out of the city, and he's a very handsome and friendly man who I work for.
Trick?
Yes, remember I am one of the Black Shields.
Oh shit!
Remember? That is
Do I know what
actually
that
a
is?
thing. I'm
You
part of
have
an
a
ancient
tattoo.
guild, awesome people, Landis, who get what they want and give nothing back, and it's fucking awesome.
I just want to get my beer.
Right.
Right. So
There's that.
there's a lot more to me than meets the Islanders. That's what I'm trying to say. Is kind of a big deal around here.
Yeah, I'm starting
but
to
I
get
think
that.
Thanks. We should certainly take action swiftly. And my
He's
vote is to go and
he's a
speak
lot
to this
less
great
chatty when he's had a few beers. If we want to get that in, I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
say
You can
no
shut me
myself.
right up.
He may.
Used to be
He
the
may
case.
start an
Used to be
orgy.
the case.
You realize there's a bunch of hookers in the other room that he may
Do you
start an
remember
orgy.
when you guys got me clean? You're to blame for this. Me speaking. I didn't used to speak much when I was high all the time.
I
Yeah.
didn't. No, Mirena got you clean. If you will recall
Well, she
correctly,
actually she got me damn well dirty, and I had to clean my own bottom up. It was a mess. It
How old
was
are
a
you? How
mess.
long have you been cleaning your own bottom? Only recently? Sounds like a personal problem. So how about we get my beer? That's all.
It's a
that's all I care
savage
about.
garden, my friends. A savage garden.
Well, with the griffins flying around, it's probably not a good idea to walk around, but maybe we can.
one
maybe
moment,
lower
please.
in-
Should we get Rick involved?
I can get them out. That
I mean,
way.
I can always send Baldwin to Frick if you'd like to let him know where we are, or some sort of concept of where he can meet us, if you'd like.
Yeah, maybe rather than meeting back at Landis' house.
I-
Neutral.
I say
Okay.
there's two things that I know that we should do. We should lay low till morning, see what news is hitting the streets. I have a way of getting around and people not being able to recognize me. And then I believe Landis has an invisible thing that has my bug that can probably gather
He's an-
information as well.
He's an imp right now, thank you. Not a thing. It's rude.
So to just check in on the invisible imp thing, did you have him
that
coming
is
back to
rude,
the?
Cloak.
Did you have him coming to meet up with you,
I'm a
Landis?
paladin.
Yeah, but I haven't told anyone that yet. I told him to come back, but I haven't told anyone that he's on his way.
Okay, then shortly thereafter, you get the telepathic scratch at your brain, and he informs you that he has arrived.
All right, I will try to tell him how to get down to where we are, but I'll tell him to stay invisible and up in a corner.
Oh, hello. All right, sure. Hello. He will do his best to sneak in then, and we'll see how he do. Okay. All right. So he, at a few moments later, informs you that he is inside, and you didn't hear him enter. So everything sounds good.
Where's my bug?
Okay.
Don't.
I'm
okay.
ignoring you.
Don't rise to it. You'll just cause for divorce again. No
I
wait,
said,
that's,
like,
that was
look,
that was
honestly-
me.
It's been a long fucking night. We need to go to sleep, okay?
Everyone's
Like,
a bit grumpy. Get some rest.
I
I think
need-
Cloak is right. We could all do
I
with some
need-
sleep.
I need to get that shit out of my fucking bag. You don't understand. Like, I need to get the fuck out of the bag. Where's my bag? Like,
If
my
you want
bag
the
can-
bag, you can have the bag. I'll put the shit in my bag. If all you want
This
is
is-
the bag, you can have the stupid bag.
Yeah,
Cloak is sounding like me when I was high all the time.
So when we leave the city, the tablets are coming with us.
Yeah, but Edwin's gonna hold on to them. You
That's
can have your
fine.
bag.
Edwin can have that thing's fucking eats shit, and I want it the fuck out of my bag. But
Landis,
I want.
This feels like a breakthrough for you.
I'm
Landis,
gonna.
you realize what that tablet does?
I have some ideas, and I know it does not belong in just anyone's hands. And I know that it is better to have it in the hands of something that can be invisible and get the fuck out of Dodge when it needs to, than it is in his hands.
I mean, he's done a pretty good job hanging on to it for a while. I know he's got a lot of good stuff in there. You know what I mean?
I mean, Landis has made them
also-
invisible. Landis gets my vote if we're voting on who to give it to.
You're-
Made it invisible and
you're-
no one else can find it. I like
While
I mean,
this is happening, I'm gonna.
his bag.
Yeah, I'm
You're
gonna. I
talking
know.
about giving
Leave me alone!
a-
I'm gonna give him his bag.
We're talking about giving it to an arcane,
Are we
corruptible
actually
artifact
fighting now?
to an
Oh my gosh! All right, so I've told Edwin to take the stuff, the magic stuff that we got in the castle out of Cloak's bag and into his bag, because he should have his bag with my stuff in it, and then just drop the other bag, so it'll just appear.
Okay.
He
So
can land.
there's no response for a moment, and then you hear his telepathic reply. He says, "Boss, there's an entire backpack worth of stuff in here. That's not gonna fit in any bag that I carry. The only reason it fits is because the gnome's bag is magic, and I've seen
thought it
these
was
sorts of
just,
things before. They call these Mammon's vaults. They can fit so much gold in them."
But I thought it was just the tablets and that lamp or something that we got.
The lamp was in a backpack with the rest of the Trollkin's stuff.
large stuff.
So we don't have the lamp?
We do.
Oh,
It's in the Trollkin's
right.
bag, which is in the gnome's bag, which I am
Oh.
carrying.
oh, okay. So if you took that out, it wouldn't fit in our bag?
Nope, not a chance. What bag? I don't carry a bag.
What? Yes, he does. I told him to go get the bag, like, before we left, remember? The bag of my stuff.
Right, that is also in the gnome's bag, which is the only reason I can really reasonably carry it. So,
He can carry 45 pounds.
yeah, look,
Nature's
I'm
pocket.
also kind of small, so, and I have wings. You keep forgetting. Look, so he actually kind of forgets himself and starts yelling out loud at this point. So you all hear Edwin's voice just sort of out of the blue from up in the rafters.
Perfect.
Look, you keep forgetting that I actually need to fly. Fuck off, gnome. And you,
Oh my
you
God,
hear
okay.
wings flap. And
All right,
You're
come here,
wing flapping. You can't see
and
him.
I will come here, and then I will go to the side of the room and tell him to land by my feet, and he can be uninvisible if he wants to. He doesn't have to, but if he wants to.
are you sure? The Niemheimer's starting to look a little twitchy.
Listen, Cloak, I'm gonna give you the bag, okay? Relax. I've got to get my bag out of your bag, okay?
Okay.
All
Always
right,
double
Landis,
back.
Okay.
there is a gentle weight that lights on your shoulder, and there's a ripple, and the rest of you see Edwin, the red-skinned, glittering, molten metal bedecked gnome, imp, who begins rummaging around in Cloak's satchel, but he's like keeping one eye just next to his big old pointy nose, just keeping one eye on Cloak, like, you stay over there. So he starts rummaging around. He pulls out a backpack that sort of comically squeezes out of this, basically a shoulder satchel, and he kind of, and drops it onto the ground with a thump and a clatter, and you see the black iron lantern that contains the Heart of Flame sort of bounce on the floorboards.
I immediately pick it up.
Where it
No.
hangs from Glaz's backpack.
I got
So
it.
then he,
I picked it up. It was right by my feet. You were on the other side of the room.
I'm not on the other side of the room.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have done it, and I said stay over there and calm down.
Can I see
lantern.
this? And would Tilly recognize the lantern? Because I know I've seen Glaz use it in this basement.
Absolutely. Tilly.
That is our friend, the one that
Yes,
we didn't
I know.
get on this podcast. So be sure you return it. I'm just saying, I don't know you that well. I would like
I
to
will.
know you very well, but I'm
I
just
will.
saying.
I'm not trying to steal things. I'm trying to keep it safe. And the gnome is driving me nuts. Just wait. You can have your stuff. And so I pick up that bag and then I say, Edwin, can you get our bag really quick?
Yep. So he rummages around in one of the side packages, side pouches of the haversack, and pulls out another kind of. This one's basically just like a large sack, and it is clattering
Where's my
and clanking.
bag?
And
Here it is.
Full of,
Where's your
And
bag,
it's-
Tilly? Can we?
full of gold and jewels, and he hands that to you.
yours.
Okay, great. So now I have both the
And he
bags in
says-
my hand, Edwin on my shoulder, and I have the haversack in the other hand. And I say, Edwin, may I please have
Edwin
the haversack
still
back?"
has the haversack that he's like clutching, and says, "All right, so there's more stuff in here. Most of it, I think, is cloaks. But
Yes.
do you want the pages?
Pages. Pages. of
Yeah,
The thing I want out of my
brass
fucking bag.
the brass
I thought that
pages.
was I thought that was in what's his name's bag?
Nope,
Glaz's bag. I want to call.
the wizard was.
Yes,
looking
I
at
want those. Yes, I want
So
those.
he reaches in and fishes out the
They're
basically
not yours to want.
lead lined leather folder, essentially folio, and hands it down to you. The edges of the leather are blackened and cracked, and the silver, pure silver clasps and binding on it have begun to blacken and tarnish.
Okay, I want to immediately shove that into my bag.
Yep.
And
Okay.
also,
Do we see this?
so I don't.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is all happening very out in the open. There is no way
Yeah,
for you to know.
I'm gonna throw the haversack at Cloak, and then I'm gonna take the lantern off of the other bag and put it in my bag, and then throw Glaz's bag onto the ground.
No!
I already done
No,
it.
no,
I
no,
fucking pull out my sword.
Stop.
Pig.
All right,
Pig.
you can't do like 16 things with people wanting to intervene. So, you toss the haversack over, and then you go reaching for the lantern, and it sounded like people are jumping in at this point. So,
What?
yeah.
What is the problem? I want to keep it safe. I'm giving you everything else. I just want to be able to hide
at
this
point
stuff.
is gonna stand up and get right next to him and go, I told you that is our friends and I don't want to cause a fight. I don't think you want to either. Not right now, not right here where we are. You need to give it back to us and we can talk about
Give
ownership
what?
of all
Here's
individual
the
items.
entire bag.
I am so tired. I just want to rest. And I need you to understand that you can't take all of our things. You too,
I
little
did it.
buddy,
I
and she, like,
did
pointed.
I throw the lantern. I don't care about the lantern, but the things are already
Okay.
in my bag.
Okay. So Landis is holding a sack that is full of whatever his money, his possessions, plus the folder with the pages of the Nullifier's lexicon. Glaz's bag with whatever else was in that, and the black lantern are tossed across the room to you guys. And Cloak,
I'm
do
gonna
you have
be
your
quite-
haversack back?
And we all saw. Do we need to roll perception or anything on the fact that we saw her, or saw him take the lexicon pages?
No, you don't need to roll shit. You that was very obvious.
I mean, if you want to take those, that's your responsibility. They're heavy responsibility, and there's plenty of people after him. I don't want anything to
I
do with them.
understand.
I would like my friends to figure out that they know that they're there, but they're dangerous. Very.
Yeah,
we've literally lost people over those.
That is exactly why I'm trying to keep them safe. I am working with you here. I'm not trying to work against you. I don't want your shit. I want to keep this safe and away from everyone else because it is incredibly powerful, and I'm terrified that it's going to get into the wrong
Landis.
hands.
You think that we don't know that
Tilly
already?
shivers at Grandma's voice.
I know you know it, which is why I don't understand why you're arguing with me because I can keep it safer than you can.
Listen,
Landis,
everybody.
have
It's been a
known
long.
you
It's been a
for-
long day, and Landis has made some points which I agree with, and as have the rest of you. I just want you all to know that I'm on all of your sides with this. I haven't super been
Stay
paying
out of it,
attention
Rio Dan.
to what's been happening because it's been quite boring. But I'm on all of your sides, and I agree.
Can't we
with-
please just send him to
Yes.
Landis's house like he would request? Because this is not helping this whole situation.
This is all just a big group healing moment for us all. I feel like we're bonding here. Getting along.
Listen, all I'm saying is Cloak has his bag with all of his stuff. You have Glaz's bag with all of Glaz's stuff and that stupid lantern that I honestly don't care about. You don't even want the tablets. I just want to keep them safe, okay? I'm with you. I'm not even going anywhere. It's not like I'm trying to steal them from you. I brought them back here. I could have had Edwin leave with all of it and go across the country if he felt like it.
I agree with that. I mean,
wait, I have a proposition if you don't mind, because technically those pages were a part of our friend's stuff before you want to go ahead and grab them, take them safe. So if you want to take something safe for us, how about we hold something safe for you, something that's very important for you. So you can't leave us.
I don't have anything that's that important, but sure. What do you want?
How about?
I have some gems and I've got some cash.
How about Edwin?
How about
always sticks with
Edwin?
How about Edwin?
Oh, do you think Edwin? So Edwin is a sentient being, and I can't deny you.
I know. Look, boss. I mean, if the dwarf wants me to come hang out with her, and that'll make everybody comfortable, I'm happy to do that. And he flashes a big needle-toothed, that also glittering with little like flecks of gemstones wedged between his teeth, and like he bit into some semi-molten gold and silver, and it's all wedged up in there, and just this like horrible haphazard approximation of a blinged out grill. And he just grins at Tilly and says, "Sure, I'll come over there if it's going to keep everybody nice and calm. Let's not freak out, okay? Because the Niemheimer is getting twitchy."
As long as Edwin is happy with this situation, I am happy for him to do whatever he wants. Like I said, he's my friend. I don't own him, but if he wants to go hang out, and Edwin, if you don't mind, for now, stay visible, unless you're asked not to be, but I just want to as long as you're comfortable with that, fine.
Yep, sure, fine. All right, so I'm coming with you, and he points a silver-tipped nail at Tilly.
Yeah, we have a bail to get, so... Be what you thought to be.
So he spreads his wings, flaps over, and lands on your armored shoulder. He smells just faintly of it's kind of like old campfire ash, except there's a sulfurous tang to it, but it's very faint.
At this point,
go ahead. Tilly's like, maybe I need a beer. My sense of smell's getting really weird.
I throw the flask that Glaz had out of his bag.
It just says like 10 lines of like prayer to Wotan. Just thank you.
Just hang on to it for Glaz, all right? This is Glaz.
Probably.
All right.
So you probably offer a prayer to Ninkash, the goddess of brewing and beer, and unstop her the flask and just begin drinking ale out of it. So there you go.
So at this point,
I'll also accept your prayers.
Cloak has Glaz's bag, and he's like, "You just hang on to it, Glaz. We gotta get Glaz, right?" And he's pointing. This is Glaz's stuff, and I'm gonna hang on to it for him, so we can get it back to him. Okay? This is his stuff. All right? We're not. He's fine. We're gonna find him, and then we're gonna get him his stuff back. Yeah.
Tilly looks down from her mug over at Cloak. Are you crying?
No.
Are you?
I don't think I've ever seen you cry.
It looks like tears, like salty wet tears.
Do you want me to hug you? I've got great hugs. Come here.
No.
She just comes.
Just a little cuddle, maybe.
Like it's just like very like
That's trying to hug a cat that's swiping your face.
All right, so you give Cloak a super awkward hug, and then everybody settles down maybe a little bit, and Edwin kind of clinks his nails, and you feel his toe talons kind of clicking on your armor, and he says, "Great, so we're all friends again. That's lovely. What now, dare I ask?"
What's the tension in this room, though? Like, I want to.
You could work it like a loop string. I don't know. I think some people have calmed down.
Landis is leaning against the wall on the other side of the room with his arms crossed, and he's just pouting. And in his head, he's still talking to Edwin, like bitching and complaining about this, and letting Edwin listen to him whine quietly to just the two of them. And but then he also mutters a little bit. And he was like, "Well, I don't know. It's apparently I have nothing to do with this decision, so you all can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna be back here, and if you want my help, well, maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't." Like
Tilly's gonna slide her mug over. Just
So Landis, I believe Tilly is offering you this earthenware jug with alchemical symbols all over it.
And Landis looks at her and goes, "Are you trying to mock me right now?"
No, I'm just saying when I get feisty a little bit, maybe after a battle or before, I always end up like having a good ale. Would you like a bit of ale? It'll help you out. Maybe, surely, hopefully. I hope so. I really hope it.
Oh boy. Hey. And Edwin kind of like taps on the side of your braid a little bit. Hey, yeah, look, so maybe you're not like familiar with Gearforged and how they do, but he can't eat or drink anymore. No stomach.
It'll rust my gears.
So like he could drink, but then we'd need a mop. So
Can you drink oil?
Drugs.
I think I've still got some podcast somewhere in my bag.
So Edwin steals a subtle glance over to Ryodan and just like shakes his head.
Oh God.
You're an abomination.
Rowan, at this point, has also gone over to Cloak and is just very gently putting a hand on his shoulder.
It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. We're always
Are you upset about glass?
I don't know where he is. I don't know why he was. Did he not think we were gonna save him?
Maybe he didn't think we could save him.
I don't know.
Or rather, maybe the thing he needed saving, the thing that he needs saving from was not the Citadel, but something else. And right now he doesn't think that we can help.
I don't know. I don't know what he's working with. I mean,
the important part is making sure that we are safe, and then we can reevaluate how to be sure to get glass. At this moment, we're tucked down here, and I don't know about you guys. I'm probably damaged my sense of smell after plenty of times of being punched in the nose. Plenty of times I'm super strong, but
for me,
I'm just saying, it stinks. It smells like shit down here. So I would like to prefer figuring out where to go at some point. So.
Rowan's also going to whistle and call Puff Puff over.
Yep.
To
Puff
give
Puff
Cloak a hug.
Comes trotting over and like kind of leans her weight against Cloak.
I hug Puff
against this side.
Puff
All right.
hugs.
Why were we fighting when we could have just had dog therapy?
That's nice. That's real nice.
Everyone,
So what's the plan?
Let's lay low for tonight until morning, and then we go hunting for information to see what's being passed around. If there's wanted signs for us,
Quite agree.
we gotta lay the fuck low. If no one's saying anything, and that I can get around without people recognizing me.
Would you like me to go ahead and send Baldwin out for over the night and make sure he finds Strick to get a message to him that we're here?
I'm sure. No, not yet. Let's figure out what the panic is and what the alarm, because like I like Thrick, but there's.
I want to know what I'm asking him about, asking him for before asking him here. You know, you don't want to ask him the wrong
Kasha.
favor.
Kasha, what do you think we should do?
She looks up and gives a just mirthless little chuckle.
Where would you like to go?
I have no idea what to do. I am not sure that we can do. I don't think we can stay in the city. The Order of the Undying Sun know who all of us are. I don't know how you all avoided being fugitives this far after you were arrested at that manor house, but I don't think that we have whatever friends you do that were protecting you. So we need to find a way out. So if you know someone who can get us out, or if you know a secret way that can get us out of the city, that's probably what we're going to have to do. We'll need to get some supplies together and get out.
Maybe we should call Frick.
I can get them out. That's not an issue. All right.
All right. If you say you can, you can.
Look, this is what I need to do. Tomorrow, when I go out in the city, I'm gonna buy 6 cloaks, rations, and like adventuring gear and stuff for 6 people, right? If we go about our business like normal, they have cloaks, they wear them up, it's a sunny day or it's raining. Hopefully it's raining, because cloak being up, that'd be fine. Okay, so we can get through the city probably unnoticed, right? We only have to go up, I think, like once, and it's a short little distance, and not too many people know about it. Or we can... But it depends on what information's being passed around. But, I could try working on getting the bear too, but if I find out there's, I don't know, that's a complicated part. How do we get a bear out of the city?
So I will remind you, it's been a few weeks, that Paula said that she was going to take care of Bear and make sure that she was at the boat and ready to go.
So
we have to get to the boat.
We can't fit everyone on the boat. That's the other issue. Only how many people can fit on the boat?
I mean, surely
we
have enough gold between the 2 of us that we could buy a second boat.
I was assuming that we would not be taking Kaja and the others on the boat, and that we would be sending them somewhere. What I recommend is, perhaps whilst you go out and make preparations tomorrow, I can ask around and find somewhere safe for them to be able to go. I can ask around in the black market.
Okay, good idea. And
Were there guards in the black market?
Were there what? Sorry?
Guards, if I remember.
Guards?
Yeah, like the
not
town
like
guard.
Not like City Watch. No,
Okay.
No. The Cartway's black market is completely under the law.
Okay. That defeats the point of a black market.
Yep.
It's
The
a slightly
guards at the
gray
black market, the guards at the black market are all basically rotating offerings to that sort of communal good from local gangs and mercenary companies and other folk who make use of the market. Part of the kind of tax of doing that is providing
like the
security.
Neighborhood Watch.
Yeah, basically. Neighborhood Watch with a bunch of murderous cutthroat smugglers and slave traders, yeah.
There's a joke there. Nope.
Like my neighbor Enid. Yeah.
Well, Riordan would say, well, that's okay. Rowan has an idea what to do. It's cloak, and I could still go and see Landis's house and Mr. What's his name?
Greymark.
Master of Coin. Yeah, Greymark. Could go see him. I don't mind. And let's not forget, I am the chosen one. If anyone ought to do this, it's the guy with insurance.
If you're gonna go, I think I should go with you. It is my house.
Okay. That's true.
I think what we can do, if Rowan and Tilly want to go to the black market, or if, and then I can go talk to Paula, because she probably has a lot of the things I need anyways.
Okay, so Tilly and Rowan, me and Landis, and Cloak.
I'll have Puff Puff.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, one thing, let me go find information out first in the morning, and then see what I can find out. But it's going to be very risky for me, but it'd be worth it.
That's fine. I'm going to wake up sort of mid-afternoon, I think, so that works for me
that's normal.
time-wise.
I said we get some sleep right now, though.
Okay.
Sure.
I
Might not be
would
first.
have to agree.
Is there anyone who wants to take first watch?
Nope.
Yeah, y'all taking watches?
I am. Okay, I'll take the first watch. And
I only need 4 hours.
I'll just take the easiest one, whichever that is. Or if there are only 4 of us, I won't go.
Like last season.
I thought you turned over a new page.
I don't really do watch.
If we did
For a little while, just pick me up after your watch, and I'll take the second.
If we do 9 hours, everyone only has to do 1, right? Because I can do 4.
So, yeah, the way it works
Am I
is...
doing the math right? Yeah.
A long rest takes 8 hours, and you can do 2 hours of light activity during a rest without spoiling it. So being on watch is light activity. So there are 4 watches throughout a long rest. You can cover 2 of them, Landis, since you only repair and rest for 4 of them.
Okay.
I'll take the first one, and then I can get Tilly, and then Landis can take the last 2.
Sure.
Okay.
So Cloak, Tilly, and then Landis on the last 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So you all settle in. You basically just kind of make beds out of whatever adventuring gear you happen to have with you. You use your bedrolls, some blankets. You can probably scrounge up 1 or 2 just moldy moth and rat shredded blankets from the 2nd floor of the tannery, but those look like maybe disease risk if you sleep on those. So you might avoid them.
I give my bedroll to Kaja.
I'm immune to disease, so I'll take it.
There you go. So he sleeps on the moldering pile of rat turds.
Filthy.
Sweet.
Well, you can't get any dirtier than you already are.
Well, that being said, I wasn't a paladin for a long time, so... Cured all up now.
All right.
Lay on hands,
So,
baby.
you all settle in. I imagine you forego any sort of actual light and just deal with the darkness and gloom of night that settles upon you. Thankfully, most of you have dark vision or some other means of dealing with that, so that's fine. But it is an uncomfortable night for pretty much everyone but Landis. Landis, you're good. You just need a chair or someone, a corner you can stand in and you're fine. Somewhere to put your tools. So Landis never goes dormant. For every now and then during his rest cycle, most of the time he spends tinkering on himself, like rewinding these strange mithril springs that are in all of his limbs. And then every now and then he'll just sort of zone out, like he's staring off. But then if there's a noise or someone moves, it's very clear that he's still aware of his surroundings. He's just not really doing anything other than taking care of his own mechanical body. The rest of you settle in for the night as best you can. You let Kaja and the other silk scabbard folk get essentially a full night's rest. So they settle in and pass out almost immediately, despite the fact that they're sleeping on a splintery, dusty, old, nasty floor. The first watch, Cloak, why don't you give me a wisdom perception check, please?
All right.
This is going to be with disadvantage because it's dark and you're just looking with your dark vision.
10.
A 10. All right. So, and why don't you go ahead and give me a dexterity stealth check as well to see how well hidden you are and while you're looking out the windows or wherever you're peeking.
11.
11. Interesting. All right. Okay. So, towards the second half of your watch, you are startled and you even give out a little bit of an eep, but you catch yourself before you make any significant noise as there are figures right outside your window. You didn't see them coming, you didn't hear them, and they just happened to move into a little beam of moonlight that's filtering down into the street in front of this old ramshackle abandoned building. And they are moving incredibly stealthily, and they pass out of hiding just for a moment, long enough for you to catch a glimpse, and they're fanning out. It looks like they're coming from the main street, and it draws your attention enough to kind of keep an eye out down there, and you see in the distance a few other similar shadowy figures moving about in the darkness, but you lose them very quickly. As soon as they get out of the open streets, they're gone. You lose track of them. While they're close enough to you, you see it looks like an elf-marked woman. Her hair is pulled back tight. She's wearing a dark cloak with a hood pulled up. You can see just the faint, delicate cast to her features and just a little bit of an almost pointed earlobe as she sort of sweeps past your hiding place, somehow manages to not see you, and keeps moving on. You see that clasping her cloak, there is a silver holy symbol that has been deliberately blacked out, and you're close enough that you can identify it. Lord knows you've seen enough of them in recent days. She's wearing a holy symbol of Kors, the sun god, but she is moving like someone bred to the shadows.
Okay. I just quietly watch as they, like, I know they went past, but I'm quietly just watching and waiting.
Okay, so you keep an eye kind of on the street. You don't see any more of those moving shadows again. It looks like these individuals are skilled at their business of not being seen when they don't want to be, and you basically just got lucky and happened to catch her when she was moving from one hiding place to another. And thanks to the disadvantage imposed by the darkness, she didn't manage to see you, even with your less than stellar stealth roll. So, you also note, and actually you'll note this, and Tilly, you'll start seeing this as well, there is a markedly increased watch patrol presence on the main street down a ways from the side street this tannery is located on. And it looks like they're paying particular attention to the shrine of St. Caron across the way, which you'll recall is where you dug up and fought the vampire spawn. And nobody's going out of the house, so that's pretty much all you're able to notice. Landis, on your two watches that you keep an eye on things, you'll see likewise a little bit more guard activity than you expected to, certainly in this part of town in the dead of night, but no one else comes close to discovering your hiding place in the tannery. And so
I would also have to, right when my watch started, as it switched from Tilly to I would ask Tilly, like, listen, I know we made a deal. Edwin is supposed to stay with you, but I kind of need him to see, because it's real dark. Do you mind if I hold on to him for the next 4 hours? I'll give him back.
Sure. She goes to bed.
Cool. All right, buddy, come here.
All right, so
I'm immediately way happier that since Edwin
was actually transformed into the form of a little rat and was curled up like under Tilly's arm, and he was sleeping while she was sleeping.
He can sleep right here on my shoulder.
And so when you get him up for your watch, he poofs back into imp form and flaps up to your shoulder and kind of settles down, and you can use his senses to see in the dark much, much better than you can with your own.
Yay.
Okay.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, boss. So you complete your long rest. You recover a number of hit dice equal to half your maximum. You get all your spell slots and all your resources back, and your hit points are restored to full. You wake as the dawn breaks pink and orange in the eastern sky, and you can hear the faint chirp of city birds as they're waking for the day. You're up before most of the city life in this particular area of town, so it's still pretty quiet once you get up and start thinking about finding some breakfast. and how you're going to tackle all of your tasks for the day.
Well, first, I'm going to go information gathering. So this is what happens. So Cloak goes up to like Tilly and Rowan, takes off his mask, and then begins to take off his cloak.
Oh, whoa.
And like,
have they ever seen you without your mask?
I've always worn it.
Okay.
And so I fold it up, and I'm very.
Please keep this safe. Please keep this safe. Don't let anyone take it. Don't let it get caught on fire, please. Okay, thank you.
So, can you tell me how big this little package is of a cloak and a mask? Like, how big is this? Like, but to a dwarf size-wise, would you say, like, enough that I can stuff it in my breastplate? Because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Tilly, so, yeah, imagine like a child-sized cloak. Like a child's costume Red Riding Hood cloak, folded up.
Okay.
So definitely
She's like literally doing that, like,
is pretty small.
She's literally doing that thing where she's like going to the bar and putting it in her, like, I'm going in it.
Yeah, sure.
So what does
All right.
Cloak look like?
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about what Cloak looks like under his mask real quick, and then I've got a few things we need to deal with.
So yes, I know. Right now, you see it's very much like a tan line, kind of like where the cloak or where the mask was. You know, he looks very pale. He's like cleaning off, kind of trying to like get the dirt to match his face and all that kind of stuff. He looks very young for being a gnome. And he has a very much like a little button nose, very vibrant orange eyebrows, fiery red hair, and like very green piercing eyes. And he's just like, and he's like polishing off his armor a little bit, and like takes another like smaller cloak out of his bag. And puts it on, just like a brown shitty cloak, and then goes,
okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna try to find out. I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna go get Paula. I'm gonna go get supplies and stuff like that. So
and he looks fucking shaken. Like he's like looking around in the corners and like and he's like,
okay, just hang on to that cloak. I need that cloak back when okay, I'll be back, okay? And then he...
Are you going to be okay to go?
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine when I'm out and about and I get back here as soon as I can. And I need my cloak, okay? I need my cloak, okay? I gotta go.
And then he like
are you gonna take Puff Puff? I mean...
No, not right now. I don't know if Puff Puff is too recognizable at the moment. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. And like pet her.
So she whines a little bit and licks your face. Yeah, she's not used to having access to it without the mask, so she's very excited about that. But she seems very nervous. Her tail is dipped low, and after you sort of stand up and take your mash up hands away from her face, she looks at you and says, with that voice that she breaks out occasionally, she says, "Be careful. I don't like you going out alone."
I know. It'll be fine. I'll be back. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. It's a normal day. I'm a normal little gnome.
And then you just see him walk out the back entrance and kind of like sneak out.
Okay, so his cloak is slipping away. Tilly, you fold up. You take his very carefully folded garment, and again, it's got living moss and little mushrooms and little sprigs of little tree branches and things growing off of them. Yes. What was that? You have something you want to say, or you're muted? Can't hear.
Tonks the mouse is not in the cloak anymore, but he lives in the cloak. I always forget about Tonks, but he probably is like scurrying around like on your shoulder and stuff like that.
Okay, so there's a little brown mouse hopping around with you.
Do we have too many pets?
No, we never have too many pets.
I just,
that's not possible.
Be careful of fireballs. That's all I'm going to say. So Tilly, as you take this very well folded garment, it's very warm, a little surprisingly warm. actually. Maybe part of it, the shoulders would be, or the hood when he had his head up, when he had the hood up over his head. But the whole thing is just surprisingly warm to the touch. And as you start tucking it in, it gives off this faint perfume, like maybe someone sprayed perfume on it a few days ago, and there's still just this faint whiff. You get this very sweet sort of jasmine scent that comes off of it. And as you tuck it into your armor, and Cloak says his goodbyes to Puff Puff, who's very nervous and upset about him leaving, as he makes his way out, kind of muttering to himself, you look down and realize you must have snagged the edge of it, because the corner of the cloak has slipped out of your armor and is like hanging loose.
She's just gonna stuff a little bit back in.
Tuck it. Absolutely tuck it back in.
Sure. That? All right.
No problem. All right, Cloak, you slip out the door, and as you do, you turn down the alleyway, and the rising sun just beams these orangish golden rays right at you, and you feel like you're standing in a spotlight all of a sudden. And you sort of take a deep breath, and you can't help this flutter of anxiety squirming around in your gut. You make your way out onto the town. And as you turn out onto the cobbled street, and which way are you heading?
Currently, am I by Miss Kettlewhistle? Kettlewhistle's house?
Ooh, so she is in the Collegium district, so... Which
is way...
far away. You're basically right on the Derry River that separates you from the Collegium, so not super far away.
Okay, because I know she's up and cooking right now. I kind of want to do a walk by of that place and see if there's anyone watching it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a charisma deception check to see how well you're covering your demeanor, how well you're disguising yourself, and this will leverage your Neemheim gnome advantage.
16.
Okay.
Or I get advantage?
Yeah, because you get advantage on deception checks, or is it persuasion?
Persuasion.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right. So we'll go just
16,
straight up then. 16, good.
Yeah.
Very well. So
I'm actually proficient in deception.
Ah, very good, very good. So you step out onto the street, and you head toward the north, taking you to the bridge across to the Collegium district. And as you're trying to keep yourself sort of even and calm and settled, just another gnome, a Zobecker going about his business just like any other, right? Nothing to see here. There is a sudden screeching cry, a guttural caw, and it snatches your attention, and you look over, and there is a fat crow sitting on a single dead tree at the edge of the graveyard at the shrine across the way, just up to the bridge, and it's staring at you with these beady black eyes straight into your eyes.
Yeah.
And as you look up, its feathers ruffle, it kind of flares its wings back a little, and straight
you see
in your direction.
Right. Just flicks it off.
And you deliver your rebuttal and then head your way across the bridge. You make your way across the street, down the little side, not exactly an alley, more like a side street off the main artery, towards your apartment that you rent from D. And as you're getting close, you can smell fresh coffee, and you smell cooking bacon and eggs. And make me a wisdom perception check, please.
That would be a 22.
Ooh, 22. Very good. All right. So as you're heading your way down, it's starting to get a little bit of the early morning crowd, particularly since you're in the Collegium district now. You see some students and probably faculty either out on early morning errands or returning from breakfast at their favorite little nook in the district, heading back to the Collegium itself. You see artisans beginning to move about, probably people delivering things to the Alchemist Brotherhood. And then something about one of these people just kind of milling about on the street, seemingly going about their normal everyday business, catches your attention. Something's just off. Something isn't right. And so you keep a subtle eye on them out of just the corner as you pass by without even turning to look at them fully. And it is a dwarf, probably a young dwarf male, and with sort of sandy blonde hair, cropped short. The beard is much longer and braided, and you catch this glimmer of golden light that just barely flickers out from under their cloak as they adjust something, and you see that familiar clasp that someone not really primed to look for it would very easily overlook, that blacked out holy symbol of Kors.
Okay.
And this person is very subtly keeping an eye on Dee's house and her little guest house.
I don't stop.
Okay. You move right on past.
I make my way to Paula's. Actually, I go to the bank. And I go up and ask for withdrawal under the fake pseudonym I gave.
Sure. No problem. You prove your identity with the name, and they match the signature, and they withdraw your funds.
All right, and then go to Paula's place. Same thing. Keeping an eye out. I'm looking specifically for fucking people that have that kind of like clasp, and seeing if they're keeping an eye on Paula's.
Yeah. Are they keeping an eye on Paula's? So you make your way all the way across town to the gear district. It's a little bit of a walk. This is going to take a good chunk of your morning. But you make your way up to the Everforge smithy, and you do not see anyone obviously watching the place.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way in. Like, it's opening up for business?
The smithy is closed. Not opening for business.
Okay. So... Shit. I'm thinking how I want to go about this, and I'm very paranoid. Cloak is very paranoid, like this place is being watched as well. Can I roll perception to see if it's being watched, or is this just...
Sure.
I noticed. Okay. Cloak and McCloakin are paranoid. That is a 13.
Okay, that's pretty decent. No, you don't see any sign of any guards or official folk watching the place. You don't notice anybody with one of those blacked out holy symbols, anything like that.
I am going
occasionally you're in the gear district, so you do have a couple of tense moments when you hear the clatter of constructs and you see clockwork soldiers at one point, or clockwork servants every now and then running an errand, moving to and fro, and once you even do catch sight of a full gear forged. It's in the it has a feminine form, looks like it's molded to resemble a human woman, and it is chased in a great deal of gold and affects the air of a priestess of Rava, the gear goddess.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I just knock on the door, like I pound on the door and I say, "Excuse me, you're supposed to be open to give me my things."
You knock on the door, no one answers.
I'm gonna tell everyone this is a bad smithy, and then walk off. Can I roll deception? I don't know.
Sure. You can make a charisma deception check.
13 as well.
Okay. You draw a little bit of attention when you make some caterwauling, but nobody gets in your business.
Okay. The only things I want to do, we can kind of speed run through this last part, is getting basic like armor, 6 sets of leather armor, 6 short swords, and rations for 6 people for 5 days, or let's make it 10 days, and that's and I'll coin that, and maybe 1 explorer's pack or 2 explorer's pack for.
Okay. So yeah, if you wanna go ahead and tally that up and spend the money, you may.
Okay. And then after that, the other thing I want, because I've been walking around for a while, I want to hear the hustle and bustle of what people are talking about, because people are probably fucking talking about that shit. I want to see if they are talking about if they have people they're looking for, or if people are going around looking for, hey, have you seen these people, or is there wanted signs up? Specifically, walking by a bounty board and like eyeing it.
So, you, through the course of your errands that you're running, you have to go to a few different places to get all the supplies you're looking for. You can very easily try to listen to some gossip and pick up on some things. Why don't you make me an intelligence investigation check, just to see how, and you can do so with advantage.
Oh, fuck yeah, please. Because these are straight up rolls. Okay, that's cocked. Hold on. 10. 10.
All right. So you skirt towards some places where you expect people might be talking about this sort of thing, and you're looking for criers and people putting up notices on news boards and the like. And you do catch wind of some people talking about a fire at the Citadel. Someone broke into the Citadel and actually set it ablaze. They were trying to burn down the Citadel. I heard that they were trying to murder the governor. Or the Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor.
And all sorts of chattering is, I heard it was a conspiracy by one of the consuls. And, you know, all sorts of just garbage bullshit being thrown around. Until you hear someone say, "Cloak." You're like, and you kind of freeze in your tracks for a moment. Yes, that was the one, Cloak. And then the Trollkin, they called him Glazishan Carnelian. Right, the wizard at the Arcane Collegium of all things. They murdered knights and stole artifacts. Then there's a cultist of the Red Goddess. His name is Riodan. See here. And they turn and you see a news board, and there are legit wanted posters up with your likenesses and names on them. There are sketches of Tilly and Rowan.
Ah, fuck!
As well as Landis, but there's no names on those 3.
Oh, right. Do they have cloaks?
Do they have cloaks?
No. I mean, Landis, Tilly, and Rowan, and Reardon.
Like, do they own cloaks?
Yeah, like, do they wear cloaks and stuff like that? I don't remember if they visibly wear cloaks.
Rowan does for
Rowan
sure.
does.
Okay.
Riordan, you are muted, sir. We cannot hear a word you're jabbering.
I have a large wardrobe, but mostly just large scarves, not an actual cloak.
Okay. I'll buy 6 normal cloaks, and then 2 more cloaks. Does Landis wear one? No.
No, but Edwin does sometimes.
Oh God.
That it's floating in the air and hits me in the face as I'm doing this. Yeah.
Okay. So.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy those things. I'll have them in my haversack, and then I'm making my way back. I'm gonna buy some bedrolls for them too, so everyone has a bedroll with them. For those, so that's 6 gold. I'll figure out the pricing and do all that shit later. But so I get those supplies for them, and then I start making my way. Is there one for Puff Puff?
A cloak for Puff Puff?
No. No, is there a wanted poster for Puff Puff?
Oh, a wanted poster for Puff Puff. There's no wanted poster for Puff Puff.
Okay.
It's like a missing dog advert.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you seen this dog?
But it looks like the wanted posters do have description and the like written on them. If you wanted to go up and read, you might be able to determine more. But
Okay.
that's up to you.
I'll go up and read. Because is mine up there? Is it like a little gnomed?
Basically, you see that little illustration that's hovering right around your chat frame there? That's more or less what's there in a decent but obviously fairly quick.
I like that these are
black and
canonically
white.
actually our bounty posters. Like
These are canonically our bounty posters.
it's
Can
lore.
we get bounty posters made out of these now?
We can, and actually, you should check out the Crafting Muse's Twitter because she made boards with some of your wanted posters on them, like for actual terrain, mini terrain scatter.
Excuse me,
They're
I have
so
to go to
cool.
Twitter.
Oh my god, I haven't had internet for a week. I need to catch up. What's happened?
All right. So while Cloak is out and about, are the rest of you doing anything particular, or are you just laying low, waiting for him to get back?
Depends how early it is. Genuinely, I think, for Riodan.
How early? I mean, Riodan, you're probably not awake yet. If you were planning on not being up in the morning, it is still morning. He's probably going to be gone for a few hours, though, so it'll probably be getting towards 9 o'clock.
I think I'm probably in a routine where that's fine. You know, where Cloak goes and does stuff in the morning, and Riodan wakes up to all of the news of the day that he hasn't garnered himself. He's like my Twitter app or something, yeah. Where it just wakes up and hears stuff. So I'm good. Unless anyone wakes me up, I'm probably sleeping. I had a busy day.
Okay, you're still sleeping. That's fine. Yep, you had an evening for show. Yeah, good.
I think that Rowan is going, well, before going to the black market, is going to... I'm not sure if this would just be rolling the bones or if it would be a full-on divination. If it's she's going to ask her old pal for some advice on where Kaja's group should go.
Oh, geez.
Like, hey, buddy,
Okay,
do you have any ideas? Please help. Thanks.
You tell me, are you doing casting a full-blown divination or using your background?
Let's see if I get anything good out of my background first.
Full-blown divination is just a step above lesser divination. Full-blown.
Okay. So you're going to cast your bones, use your
full frontal
use
divination.
use your foretelling, and try to get some insight over what exactly, where should Kaja and her ilk go?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make a wisdom religion check.
I think I'm good at those. Maybe, yes. 26.
26, damn. Okay. All right. So...
Or she would be rolling the bones and asking for some kind of sign of where there is safe haven for them.
Okay. 26 going to get. So you cast your sheep knuckles with your runes carved into them, and you contemplate the question. You look down at the spread before you in this little kind of basically like a camp plate that you, from your mess kit or whatever, that you've cast them into with a clatter. And you tilt it about, looking at the orientation of how the runes have landed, and they suggest to you darkness leading to light, hunger and danger.
So darkness leading to light, hunger and danger.
But all of that, as sort of ominous as it might sound, it all has sort of a hopeful air to it, despite things like hunger and danger.
And Riordan's still asleep, isn't he?
Sure is.
But yeah. I'm assuming that Kaja and the other refugees are going to be awake, maybe?
They're definitely awake before Riordan is.
That's not hard, though. Kaja, are you... I'm trying to figure out where we can take you.
All right.
Where did you come from, by the way? Have you always been in Sobek?
Oh yes, this is my home.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She just sort of smiles mutely and pats your arm.
I have had a reading. It sounds ominous, but it is hopeful, or rather, it's not bad.
All right.
So, do you know much about the lands beyond Sobek?
Well, some, I suppose it depends.
The reading I had was... it mentioned hunger and danger.
Well, I suppose that
Vague,
puts me in mind of the Blood Kingdom, which I suppose there was a time when I might have had friends there, but that time has passed.
That was something which came to my mind as well, but I'm going to go do some investigation in the black market and maybe see if there is something we are overlooking or somewhere.
All right. I'm grateful for any help you can give. I'm not sure how well we'd be able to get out of the city on our own.
We'll keep you safe. It's in no small part due to us that you're in this situation in the first place.
Well, I don't know that I particularly believe that, but thank you. And she pats you, gives your hand kind of a reassuring squeeze again. This isn't your fault. This is all because of that wretch Cosinia.
Well, she's gone now. And
thanks to you.
And I'll make sure that her name is not remembered.
Right. Well, I'm grateful for everything you've done and anything you can do to help us.
Rowan will go over and start poking Riordan to wake him up.
Okay. Anything anybody else there at the homestead is doing while Cloak is gathering supplies and the like?
Riordan, wake up!
Or just kind of waiting?
Ooh. That was an odd one. What's going on?
We're going to the black market.
Okay, see you later.
No, you're coming.
What? No, I'm going with Landis. I'm going to his house. Isn't Tilly going with you?
I had assumed that perhaps you might want to hear if there is any news about some heretics that needed burning alive.
I mean, yes, but it's awfully early.
Is it midday?
It's like
It's like
8:30.
9 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah. It's maybe not. It's
It is
not even
early,
9
then.
a.m. for you guys. Yeah, it's early.
Oh shit, that is early.
If you guys want to go ahead, and we'll see each other later. But we don't need to hang out all the time for us to be friends, right?
Tilly leans to Rowan and goes, I don't know much about the black market. Do you think it's going to be very busy this early in the morning? Or is it one of
Perhaps
those
we should.
dark
I don't
evening sort of things? I don't know.
Perhaps we should wait till Cloak gets back. I don't want him to be angry at me as well.
Especially if he's getting a feel for like the city and his. Did you see how piercing his eyes were? They were very green. I was like seeing into my soul, Very...
If Cloak is scared, then I am terrified.
I wouldn't say I'm scared, but every once in a while in your life you get a little nervous. I mean,
It's too early to be drinking this time of morning.
Rowan, when Tilly comes over and talks to you, that cloak that she had tucked into her armor looks like it's kind of reached up the other side around the back of her neck and is kind of poking out from behind her armor now.
What are you looking at? Do I have something? Did I get some of that dirt on my face?
You didn't tuck the cloak in very well.
I thought I tucked it in just right. And she looks down to see. What?
Rowan's going to just try to tuck it back in.
Sure. Yeah, you can grab a hold of it and kind of tuck it back down. Yeah. Tilly, it's weird. Part of it has reached up over your shoulder, kind of behind your neck. You're not sure how it managed to scooch over there.
I'm not gonna say my armor's too tight, but maybe I should get pulled. It seems like things are squishing around a little bit.
All right, so we're going to flash back over to Cloak for a bit. Cloak, have you figured out the cost of all of those supplies you're trying to buy?
Yeah, I already bought everything.
All right,
I already minus it and did all that. So, which was a lot of money. I start making my way back. Very casually to the thing. I want to get back to my cloak. I'm feeling very nervous, I want to make sure I'm not being followed. As I'm just walking through the city and all that kind of stuff. So
go ahead and make me another wisdom perception check, please.
That would be a 20.
20, nice. So as you're walking along, you hear from an alleyway nearby something. So it's creating this sort of corridor of shadow in this early morning light, and you hear Cloak sort of whisper out to you from it.
What is it? Does it sound like a Nothic?
That's not your real name. Who are you?
I keep walking.
So you look, and there is a hunched, wizened, stooped, old, withered crone just inside the shadowed boundary of the alley. And she has this brown, threadbare shawl that's kind of pulled up over her thin, kind of scraggly hair. And her face is this deep network of canyoned wrinkles. And it's her hair and the shawl are sort of hanging in front of it, and you can only see her sort of protruding cheekbones and a little bit of her pointed chin and this sweep of a nose, just a big hook sort of a nose. And her fingers are fiddling with something, like she has a little bit of a makeshift table set up, almost like it's a booth where she's trying to sell things, although nobody seems to be paying it any attention. And she has like trinkets set out on it, like little brass baubles, some strange mushroom caps, what looks like a few empty crab shells, and she's sort of fiddling with them. And that whisper just sort of drifts past you as you're looking over towards her. She doesn't look up. She's busying herself with her wares, but you distinctly heard this woman's whisper, somehow reaching to you out in the street.
Cloak is going to keep walking, and he has a look of rage on his face as he's looking at this old lady, but like there's like a hint of fear in the back of it. He quickens his pace and he starts making his way because he knows what's going on, and he knows he needs to get the fuck back, and he needs his cloak.
So as you kind of glare at her, she stops and looks up at you, but the way the shadows are falling, it looks like her eyes are just empty black pits. And she says now in a hoarse, quavering voice, "He's coming for you. Now." And then she sort of shivers and then looks back down and starts arranging her little trinkets on her board again.
He's coming for me?
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll insight?
Sure.
I'm very curious on why I'm rolling insight. Is she warning someone, or is she warning me?
Okay.
Nat 1, so 5?
Yeah! You're honestly kind of freaked out. It seemed like she was looking right at you when she said it. And like there's other people kind of around, so maybe she was talking to somebody else.
I'm gonna do something real quick.
All right. What you doing?
No. I quicken my pace and I keep going. I was doing a little D20 to guide me.
All right, so you're kind of like looking over your shoulder, kind of watching just to make sure she stays where the F she is. And now as you're making your way away from her, she's not paying you any attention whatsoever. It looks like she's just setting these things out in hopes to sell these little baubles and crafts and curious things that she's found to try and make a few copper cogs to try and survive another day. And so as you turn away from her, the bustle and sounds of the city are starting to kick up as people are waking and commerce is getting into full swing. And you turn into this gleaming white horseman on a white steed with this bright white cloak and an enameled white helmet in the full beaming sun of the dawn's light. And the thunder of its hooves charging right towards you flashes you back to this image of a black rider churning the turf, chasing after your terrified, desperate mother. And for a second, you're not sure which scene you're seeing before your eyes. Your breath fails you, your heart pounds in your ears, and someone yells from somewhere, but it's muffled, like it's coming from a great distance, and you're not able to respond or make sense of anything. And somebody grabs you from the side and hauls you out of the way, and you sort of snap back to reality as a messenger riding a white and gray dappled horse with a white cloak with a very clear emblem of some rich house's crest on it, goes riding past on some super important business in this morning in Zobek. And you blink, and as this seemingly very normal Zobecker goes riding past on the cobblestones, not at all that gleaming white bright day night that you saw just a moment ago. And you kind of, your breath, you realize, is coming in these panicked gasps, and there's clammy sweat on your forehead and on your shoulders, kind of sticking at the padding under your armor. And this fellow, who looks like he's maybe a worker or a craftsman, says, "Are you all right, lad? You almost got run down there."
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm sorry. I gotta go. I I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm very hungry. I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
And then I run off. I'm trying to get back as fast as I can now. I am having a panic attack.
Okay. So yeah, you hear a few more words that he says, but they don't really stick or resonate with you, and you just scoot out of there. So, seeing as no one has anything else important going on in the morning, we will cut to Cloak returning with his heavily laden parcels of supplies. His hair is his bangs are plastered to his forehead with a little bit of a cold sweat, and he seems freaked. He's probably calmed down a little bit on his travel from the market to here, but not perfectly or completely.
I need my cloak. I need my cloak. I need my cloak. Give me my cloak. Give me my cloak. Give me. And I put it on, and I'm like, and I like go into the corner, and I just start.
Okay, Tilly, you pull the cloak out, and as you pull it out of your armor, it just sort of falls and unfolds into just as if it's ready to be thrown around his shoulders. And as you do, it's almost like you kind of lose your grip on it as it swirls around him, and it clasps itself around his shoulders. And the hood sort of pulls up, and it looks like just a fraction of an inch before he actually grabs it and pulls it. The hood starts flowing over his head, and it sort of wraps around him, and Cloak, immediately, your nostrils fills with that pleasant jasmine scent, and the world goes quiet. You didn't even realize it until now, but you were hearing every creak of every board, every click of a footstep on cobblestone, every flutter of a bird's wing, every chirp of a songbird. All of it was just echoing in your mind, and it all stops. And it feels wonderful. Finally, relief.
She can't find me.
Cloak, you alright? What?
She can't find me. She can't find me. She can't find me.
Who is she?
I'm fine now. I'm fine.
Who is she? Are you talking about Morena?
Grandmother.
No. She can't find me. She can't find me.
I'm like hugging Puff Puff really tight. I'm like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
All right.
Cloak, what happened out there? What did you see? Is it?
Oh, you guys can't go the fuck outside.
We were set up. They have wanted posters of all of us, except for the
Kaja and her people.
mainly it's us. Oh, I did get closer for a description. We didn't get to that. Is it basically just tells about us?
It's basic descriptions, some warnings of any of your well-known capabilities, like you're probably referred to as a mercenary. Riodan is definitely referred to as a vampire-blooded worshiper of the Red Goddess. Glaz is definitely called out as a wizard, and so they don't specifically say Void Speaker, but they brand him as having trucked with dark and forbidden powers. They don't know a whole lot about Tilly, Landis, or Rowan, so there's really just basic descriptions on them. In your description, Cloak, Puff Puff is, at least in general terms, described.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to get the fuck out of town.
Like this was a huge setup.
I was right. The Master of Coin fucked us. Because literally there's detailed pictures, detailed descriptions of 3 of us. The last 3 of you, it's just kind of basic descriptions, don't really say much beyond that. This is we got made. And
Haven't you guys lived here for a long time though? Like,
why would? For a long time?
Yeah, but why would someone having a description of you mean that you were set up? I mean, everyone's seen all of us 100 million times.
That's true. We were seen. And also, didn't the Master of Coin know Landis and see?
Yeah.
So wouldn't there be a really good picture of Landis? Not him.
There's a really good picture of all of us.
So the pictures are like police sketches. They're not like detailed paintings or anything like that.
Did they get my beak wrong?
They're okay.
Some of you are pretty distinctive, so it's going to be pretty easy. But no, like imagine bounty poster boards or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, they do have. Oh. Yeah, the anxiety made me yawn. they have a good description, at least of Glaz, Riordan, and myself. So we've probably been watched for a while. Okay.
We're the famous ones.
I'll give it Tilly, Rowan, and Landis. They have basic descriptions, and they don't say anything about that. They mention Puff Puff. So we need to really lay low and get the fuck out of Dodge. And also, there's super holding ninjas running around, so we need to worry about that. They were actually watching Miss KettleWhistle's house, and we couldn't. I couldn't go there to pay anything off. I kept walking. Paula, I can't find Paula. I don't know where Paula is. So.
What do you mean you can't find Paula?
She didn't answer her door. I pounded on the door and made a big fuss, and no one ever came.
How early was it?
I mean, it was it was like probably mid-morning by that point. I'd walked all the way across town, then back all the way back to Paula's. So Tilly, just to remind you, Paula said that she was going to take care of Bear and have her at the boat. So it's possible that she's there, not at home.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. Was there a sign of any sort of break-in or
No.
lock?
Nope.
Could you tell? Then, I mean, maybe she's not there at the boat. We told her which spot we were at.
If she has Bear at the boat, do you think she can get the boat to upriver?
I don't really know how much of a piloting a boat experience she has, but I can send Baldwin to see if she can tell us. I don't know.
That, or maybe if she wants to hire some people to help her, like a couple people to get the boat up, I'll pay her back. You can't go out. Like, none of us can go out into the city because they're looking for us, like right now.
We could send Edwin.
We could send Edwin.
So, Edwin, by the way, has been hanging out with Tilly since he was basically determined to be a hostage to make sure you're not trying to make off. You're not trying to make off with their artifacts. So he has volunteered himself as collateral. So he's been just kind of chilling with Tilly.
Can you refresh my memory as to where we are? I'm looking at the Midgard map, Dan, as far as tannery. Okay.
So are you looking at the Zobek city map?
Yes.
Okay.
I see the docks district and stuff.
Right. So if you look over to the Collegium district, there's the lower sort of large bridge that goes right towards the Kobold ghetto. If you go to the left side of that bridge and you go up like 2 buildings, there's kind of an L-shaped building next to the river, next to a bend in the river. That's where you guys are.
Okay. I mean, we can send either Baldwin or we can send Edwin if you want her to go. She's like talking to him as if he's like her friend now too.
I mean, Edwin could carry some money to her because I'm not sure how much she would have on her.
Oh, I don't know. We didn't really tell her to be prepared with money. It might be a good idea, but we can get her to bring the boat around if we have. There's probably some smaller docks here if she can get there, but I don't know her boating skill, so we'll have to ask her.
I will need to go to the black market, but I did get a reading before, and Kaja agrees with me that it may be pointing us back towards Morgau and the Blood Kingdom.
The fuck is that?
Not loving that. Not going there again myself.
But all the heretics you can burn.
Sometimes
and all you can burn buffet.
I don't know. Everything else.
I need to investigate it more, but it might be worth following.
Okay. Sure.
I mean,
I'm still all for going to speak to the spy master.
If there is anywhere that's better to hide, it would be amongst the crowd of molten faces already. Probably in the dark market. So.
Fair enough. I was undercover there for some time.
Where was this city?
Where's the black market? The city map?
City?
No, not the city map. Where is the Blood Kingdom?
Great
on the
Duchy
world
of
map.
Morgau?
Yeah, the Greater Duchy of Morgau and Dorish.
Oh, are we kind of close to that?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So the Blood Kingdom is Dorish, Morgau, the Greater Duchy of Morgau, and now Krakovar. They have been aggressive and expanding, and they've basically taken all of that territory up to the north. The Wolfmark is still free and fighting against them, at least most of it. Skagerholm, that is a Reaver Dwarf settlement where a bunch of the refugees have ended up. And they're not trying to push into the Grand Duchy of Dornick to the west yet, but yeah. So anyway, up to the north, there's a buttload of vampires and their ghoul allies. So,
I was gonna suggest we go to Temerian Forest to the Holdus tree up there, the World Tree. That's the closest one.
That might also be an idea.
Makes sense.
I do like the sound of the north, so.
But I think we are all in agreement that north is the way to go.
Yeah. Well, here
now
first.
we gotta figure out how we're gonna do here.
So one thing I started doing is after I calmed down, I started pulling out I got 6 different types of clothes, and I got 10 days of rations for everyone, 2 explorers pack, 4 empty backpacks, 6 water skins, and then as well as leather armor, 6 sets of leather armor, and then 6 short swords for the hookers. Kaja and her crew. I'm arming them a little bit.
Sex workers.
Okay, sex workers. I apologize.
Excuse me, fuck house workers.
So one thing that I didn't think of this when you were originally talking about buying short swords, so I'm not going to lock you into that. Chances are most, if not all of them, are not skilled at using short swords, so you'd have better luck going with something like a simple weapon rather than a martial.
It's not simple? God damn it.
No. So like daggers or a spear, something like that. Hand axes. If you want something a little bit heftier that is concealable, hand axe is probably the way to go. If you want to make sure it's something that someone doesn't have to be terribly strong to use, then dagger's your best bet.
They don't look strong.
I mean, maybe 1 or 2 of them, but other ones you'd think in-game terms would benefit more from a finesse weapon than regular melee weapons.
Okay.
But, again, this is all very relative. These people are not trained warriors, so...
Okay, then I would have gotten daggers.
That's fair.
Is there if there's some that look strong, I would have gotten them a hand axe, and then I would have gotten the rest daggers. So I don't know if there's 2 strong people and the rest.
So I'd say you think Kaja and the bartender fellow probably would benefit more from say a hand axe, and then the rest daggers would probably your better bet.
Okay, so 18, I spent, how much on that? 60. So I'll just do the math and get it done. Okay. Okay, I got it. I got the total back on my
no problem.
My stuff, so I'm good.
Right, so they will gratefully collect the supplies and the nondescript cloaks that they can use to sort of disguise themselves as they try to move around.
And then I got a nice velvet black cloak for Reardon.
Perfect.
And then,
good.
And then everyone else kind of basic nondescript cloaks for them to put on except for Rowan. And then. Right. Nothing for Puff Puff. I'm trying to think what I need to do with Puff Puff. In the description for me, in the description for Puff Puff, did they talk about a dog in armor or?
So they said that you were known for riding a warhound.
Okay, I'm going to take off Puff-Puff's armor and then put it in the haversack for the time being.
That'll probably cover it.
Okay.
All right.
So you want us to put this? Not, I assume not because it's cold outside, but for disguise for us to go to the black market like Rowan wants.
That and until we're the fuck out of Zobek and we know that there isn't wanted posters up where every city we go to.
How good are these wanted posters?
I
Billy's
mean,
kind of nervous a little bit.
They're decent.
I mean,
Did you get a copy for me?
if you
Fine,
were,
let's do it. And she starts like unbraiding her beard.
I could sign it.
okay.
Let's be honest, if we all stick together, a couple of cloaks aren't going to hide us from people who are looking for a group of this amount of people in these sizes.
I mean, we
Well,
could split.
yeah, right.
Rowan and I can go to the black market as long as we, fit in a little bit of
Gladys,
the
don't
crowd.
you
And then
want to get stuff from
Cloak-
your house?
Cloak,
I
if you
do.
don't mind checking the DAX for Pola.
But Cloak has made it pretty clear he doesn't think any of us should go anywhere. Except for
Okay,
Outward.
Dad.
I think we should. What we should do is have Edwin give Paula money to hire people to go take the boat up north, and then we should. Where's a good port city up north?
Now
up
he likes
along the
Edwin.
river. Well, he's invisible, so shut up. Zobek.
He is invisible. That's what I said.
Obertal?
Connected.
Mm-hmm.
The next city up is Obertal. So maybe if we go meet Paula in Obertal and give her enough to for I don't know how many days travel that is from here to Obertal, but or is it Obersteiner now? What? Oberstein
No, that's-
now? Oberstein
I think
now?
that's the one near Shadow Crag, I think.
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
So if we go up north, I think whatever one touches the river first, and get up there.
We traveled part of the river down, didn't we? Originally in the very beginning. So would we know what would be the?
We came through the Blood Kingdom.
I was just
they
asking
did,
Dan.
Yeah.
So would we know
you
the
guys
next
came.
port town officially to go to?
Yeah. So you guys did come down that way. So let's see, city, town. You are most likely looking at the town of Obersteinau would probably be the first thing you run into. Obertal is a castle, so that's probably like a fort overlooking the river.
Okay.
Didn't show us scrolling. Didn't we stop at that Oberstein now on the way back, or on the way down first time? It's pretty small.
Yes.
I think it should be easy to look into.
That would be the best place for us to meet Paula, I believe.
Right.
Right.
She'll start rummaging through her
So,
bag to
and
get
then-
some gold ready to give Edwin.
That waterway will take you up north and kind of skirt between the Iron Crag cantons and the western reaches of Dorish.
Okay.
Okay. I think, and then we can get people out of the city and kind of not go in the Margrave Forest, but along it, and then get up, maybe be off the trail for a little bit, and then maybe a couple miles, and then get on the trail and then make our way up the road and up to Obersteinau. But yeah.
So is your plan currently to head that way and take Kaja and the others with you, or are you still looking to find like a smuggler or someone to take them out?
I'm going to go look for a smuggler, I think.
I can get them out, but we have to wait till night, and then I can do pass without trace and get them out. If you guys want to get a smuggler to get you guys out, or
I'm just going to look for some information.
okay, I would be careful because honestly, like, I'm gonna tell you now, like, some of those like holy ninjas, they have a pendant, right? But like, it's not really noticeable, and they might be down there. Like, they might just be waiting and looking for us.
You'll have to forgive me. What is a ninja? What?
It's a look in Nihon is ninjas are sneaky little children gnomes, right? And they throw candy at you. But sometimes they
I love
punch you in the
candy.
kidney. Oh, they punch you in the kidney if you're not paying attention, right?
Mixer.
I mean, I could take a few of those for some candy, you know. I'm not afraid of a ninja now. Alright.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're terrible little brats. But I used to be a ninja when I was growing up.
I agree with Landis in the fact that if we go any place together, it's going to be more obvious that we're together. So what if we trickled like 2 by 2 or 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 by 2?
I like 2 by 2.
Yeah. She counts because she's not very smart.
Buddy system.
To go to the dock and board the boat. I guess we could make a side run rowing through the black market to make sure we can find a smuggler if you'd still want to. I just worry about any of you overexerting yourself. You seem pretty exhausted right now, Cloak. I mean, you were like fanning yourself. You had like
I'll be fine.
and...
It's only the morning. I just need to relax and smell my cloak, and then
You're not alone.
What?
We're here. We can help you. You don't have to do everything yourself.
It's fine. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, this is a big deal. Like if things go wrong, you guys could die. And Landis.
Well put. Well put.
And Tilly's like, and Landis, what?
And again, I'm
she got super fucked out of all of this, so
when I say I think we pair off and just take some time apart from each other and then join back up on the boat and then just spend a really long protracted amount of time together on an enclosed boat. And I think we'll just get along better if we take a break before we do that.
It's not me, it's you, Ryodan.
Are you temporarily breaking up with us?
Yes, for Landis. You guys get it. I mean, I'm kind of a big posters and stuff. But really, it's just for, and I'm on everyone's side here.
I mean, I do have to say, Cloak, that if we make our move at night, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. Just you got a little. I got lost in what you're saying, Ray. Then it was a lot. Sorry. I was
on your side.
Cloak,
that's the main thing.
I mean, you should be. Look at him.
I was just
supporting you. So, Cloak, did you see last night how many or how much commotion there was on the main streets on your guard, on your turn?
Yeah.
I don't know about our movement at night comparatively to a movement in the crowd. If we can at least alter our appearance enough to get through it, I, for one, is not a good sneak. We all know these strengthy, muscle slapping her thigh legs are not very light on them. So,
I mean, for the people that definitely need to not be seen is probably Rowan, Reardon, and myself. And Rowan, just because, I mean,
I'm a bird.
Yes.
Question. Cloak, did my wanted poster specifically, I know some of them were kind of rough and some of ours were less detailed. Did mine show the carvings and my gemstones and stuff, or is it just a kind of generic Gearforged, sorry.
I look to Dan for this information.
So it does not have super specific detail on Landis's image and etchings and the like. It is a general likeness. Tilly, Rowan, and Landis are the sketchiest sketches of all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel called out.
That's good to know. I feel less concerned about me.
I'll add who I want.
It was a very general, like it didn't have like all the like intricacies, and it's like
Okay, that's good.
Okay. It just looked like you were a Gear Forge.
That's good. That's good. That's better.
Tilly is like a lady dwarf with a beard, and then I don't see many cankers, so that's why it's really kind of point out Rowan a little bit more. But yes,
yes, Dan.
Yeah, and it was Rioden, Cloak, and Glaz who had pretty accurate likenesses.
Mm-hmm.
And they've only got one of us, so doing good, guys. Doing good, team. Okay, just wanted to take a moment. We're doing all right. They only got one of us forever.
Are you 100% confident that you'd be able to move? And she wavers at the sex workers. People, she doesn't want to say anything rude about them. Out of the city, are you sure you'd be able to smuggle them out? If not, I mean,
Right. Kaja speaks up and says, "You said you can get us out of the city, but what then? Do you have an idea for where we should go, or are we just on our own?"
That is what I am trying to ascertain.
They have to go up north with us, and then we have to figure out beyond that.
It's
I thought the
surely too
boat couldn't
dangerous
hold
for
that
them
many
to come
people.
with us.
we'd have to get a second boat if we did anything like that.
I don't think we should all stay together. I think that's
What
more
I
dangerous.
can do is I can guide them up to Obersteinau, right? Because I am very good in the forest as well as the city, but if you guys want to take the boat up and then get a second boat for that people.
So if you're telling me that Riodan, Rowan, yourself, and excuse me, Kasha, this group of lovely individuals can all be hidden and guided well by you on foot, we could probably get Paula to get us a boat or meet us with the boat, and then Landis, if you're okay, because Edwin keeping him with me, go on the boat. We could meet you in Obersteinau.
My problem is if Edwin is going with you, I basically need to stay with you because there are certain situations in which I need him. Yeah,
that's what I was.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
come along. Yep. I also want to learn about, but I gotta keep an eye. Just saying.
I just can't be in the dark without him. That's all I'm saying.
Alright.
Who's scared of the dark?
So it would be half party on foot and half party on water.
So
honestly, I'm not keen on leaving the city.
I could basically have everyone if they stay within 30 feet of me, I could put everyone in under the pass without trace. I just think it looks silly as fuck if there's like, how many? 4 of us plus another 6 people plus Puff Puff plus me, all sneaking around in one group. I don't think it. I think it looks silly in my head, so I don't want to do that.
I mean, it's going to be trickier for things like everybody sneaking down this one alleyway here, but it also makes sure you leave no tracks, and it makes it much less likely for people to hear or spot you if you're creeping around a field or forest or whatever at night.
Were there any posters for Kasha or her people? Cloak.
So not that you saw on that board, Cloak, but after you kind of made that discovery and then had your little strange interlude, you didn't seem like you were paying much attention to those sorts of details. You were mostly just trying to get your ass back to safety. So you didn't see any other posters, but that was one message board in a pretty big city, so you don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That was only one message board I saw, and I didn't see them, but I don't know if they are or not, and I don't want to risk it just sending them out there.
You want me to go take a look? Edwin says from Tilly's shoulder, and actually he's in the form of a crow at this point, and his voice just kind of clicks out of the beak.
I very narrowly stare at him.
He kind of tilts his head and looks back at you. And then says, "Ka!"
She eyeballs Landis.
Does he look like a fat crow?
staying out of the way?
No, he looks like a pretty svelte crow, actually. With like little bits of glitter or shiny things stuck in his feathers.
I mean, we could get a word in if there's any message boards. If you're okay with Alandis, I don't own him, but I am holding him. Just want to make sure.
If he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind looking around if there's more information you need to know, and you're all afraid of going out and getting your heads cut off. So,
sure. Check any message boards you see your community, but not you, Raiden. You're not a crow, and you're not an imp, and you're not even smart.
Just saying.
If you don't,
I mean, if they found
Edwin?
me out, which they wouldn't, and they killed me, which they probably can't, they can't even actually kill me. So it's great.
I need to recall him. It's great. Edwin, while you're out looking for stuff, can you just casually pull some of those wanted posters off of the boards?
Sure.
With your little beak?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
I love the idea of him now looking like a mini Rowan since he has a cloak on and the little raven. That's
we
the
put
reason
another
you'd like to
we
get
put
back.
another cloak on him.
Sure.
All right, so
Go
he
ahead and pick
flies off out the window.
Oh, and check on the house while you're gone.
It's got like a grocery list of stuff to do.
All right,
Honestly,
so,
the house is probably a write-off. The property value would have fallen greatly after the wanted posters and everything.
I'd love to get some of my shit, though. More than what I got. I wasn't really prepping to leave town. I was just prepping to prep like I always do.
Okay, so over the course of the next few hours,
face.
You'll get some updates from Edwin as he flutters about the city. He will let you know that he very quickly found several more of those message boards and other similar things where people post notices or are even handing them out in certain areas of town, where they're circulating more of those wanted posters for the lot of you that, as Cloak described, and they are in fact talking about the 6 fugitives from the Silk Scabbard who
I can imagine that if he sees someone handing them out, that he like starts to act like a very anxious. He just dives from them, tries to knock them all over their hands or poops on their face or something.
Yep. So he causes a little chaos, disrupts some things. He also tells you that on his way out, he saw a bunch of City Watch basically parked out by the Silk Scabbard.
Great. I relay the info. Did he check on the house?
Yes, he eventually gets around to the house. And once he gets to the house, you get a sort of a telepathic nudge in your mind. And he says, "Hey, boss, that Greymark guy is here. He's making tea in your kitchen."
Oh, my God. Okay. Is it... Are they saying anything? Oh, God. I don't...
I mean,
yeah.
It's just him.
No one else is there?
Not that I could see.
All right. Yeah, let's talk to him.
Okay. Just a second. You have the voice of the master invocation, right? Okay.
Yep.
So you kind of like grump for a moment and then slip your senses into your familiar's flesh from across the city, and you get that strange, slightly distorted vision, which now is even more distorted because he's in the form of a bird, so his eyes are kind of on the side of his head. It's very weird. He crawls in through his little roof access that he has and flutters down into the kitchen. And Greymark is just pouring himself a cup of steeped tea out of a simple porcelain pot. And he looks up, kind of does a little bit of a double take, narrows his eyes, and you feel a little bit of a shudder of nervousness from Edwin that seems just comes out of nowhere. And you get this boss, and then he's kind of like stammering through, trying to think through that feeling, when Greymark smiles and says, "Well, I was wondering when you or one of yours were going to show up, my boy. Shall we have a chat?"
Caw. Yeah. Yes. Please.
Very, very cute. All right, so your voice is now issuing forth from Edwin's body, and he takes a sip of the tea and sets the cup on a saucer and just kind of holds it gingerly. And he says, "Well, mission mostly accomplished, I suppose. You didn't do a great job of getting out without being spotted." And he sort of wrinkles his nose sourly at that, and he says, "I told you, if you were seen in that sort of capacity, my ability to shield you was going to evaporate. I did what I could, for you at least. The others, there's really nothing I can do for them. They're too well known, at least the three of them. So I don't recommend any of them going back to any of their usual haunts. They're almost assuredly watched."
Right. We are definitely attempting to stay away from those places. Question / point of order. We mostly, who saw us? Because we did a pretty good job of getting out of there without anyone doing that.
Well, I don't know for certain. I'll probably be able to find out given a little bit of time, but I know that there were some eyewitnesses.
Okay. There was a weird little demon.
They got
mechanical
very
snake.
good descriptions of all of you, and managed to get accurate likenesses of most of you.
But, okay, so okay, sure. Big favor, find out who saw us. That would be amazing. I would love that.
As I said, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I can probably find out. And he sort of smiles and takes another drink of his tea. And he says, not sure if you've been able to find out, but I own your place now. I took care of that as soon as I realized that things had gone tits up. So this way, the government is not going to seize your property because you're a criminal. It's mine. They're not going to touch it. I'll hold it in trust for you. If this is ever smoothed out, it's yours.
And how much are you
I similarly took care of Tilly's boat and her docking fees. Those are all under, not my name, but my people's name. So you should be able to get to the boat no problem. They don't know about that. I swept away your paper trail.
Why? Why are you still doing this? Thank you, clearly.
I'm protecting my investment the same as before. I didn't want you to get killed or captured then, and nothing has changed. Although, if you continue to become a drain on resources, I might have to revisit the cost-benefit.
Understood, and makes sense. I'm with you. But what do you want from us? You gotta want something.
He smiles broadly and winks and says, maybe someday when we're in a position to actually benefit each other more directly, we can talk about that. Right now, we have a bit of a mess to clean up, and I don't know that we can do it in any sort of timely fashion. I think the five of you, along with your friends, if you care about those folk you broke out from the brothel, if you want to take care of them, I'd take that as a kindness. I do like those people. They don't deserve to end up in the care of those zealots where they were. I'd hate to see that happen. So if you could get them out, I'd appreciate it. Consider it a favor.
Sure. Cool. I think we were going to do that anyways because we're not the worst people.
Lovely.
But how? So okay. Next steps. We leave town. Do you want us to contact you again? And or shall you contact us? Do we have a phone system in place in this world?
No. But
It's called Rowan sending.
At least one of your new companions is a capable spellcaster, and I'm sure that she can arrange the means to contact me if she needs to. We have met, so she should be able to send to me anytime you require. And I can arrange for similarly gifted individuals to contact any of you.
Okay. Please please take care of my house and my business.
You mean my house and my business, and trust me, I always protect what's mine.
Can we talk about this more later?
Absolutely.
Okay. I, as me in bird form, want to hop over to where my I know my safe is hidden, and peck with my little beak into a code, or however the hell you get a safe in Zobek open, and then
So he would probably have to resume imp form, which is fine. He can do this at will. It doesn't matter. And so he kind of hi, and Greymark doesn't miss a beat. Just sort of lifts his tea, takes a sip, and watches with interest and amusement as Landis, you got me doing it now. As Edwin inputs the safe and cracks it open.
Okay, I'm just gonna pull out like as much as little Edwin can hold, Jim and money-wise, whether he has a little bag or whatever, and just fill every pocket.
Not a whole lot, unfortunately, especially if you also want him to like be able to fly back.
Yeah, the one thing I really do want to get. Yep. The one thing I really do want to get is actually more important than individual gems is the box of fake eyeballs that we had previously.
Yep. No problem.
Okay.
I need those.
So he gets that. He also gets 200 gold pieces worth of assorted coin and gemstones. And most importantly, he gets one of the more valuable stones that you had locked away. He has a diamond worth 300 gold pieces.
Okay.
So go ahead and make notes of those so we don't so we don't forget them.
Yeah.
You can carry that between his butt cheeks.
I know, smuggle. So
tuck that in the old mammon lockbox. It'll be fine.
Oh God. Okay, shut up, Edwin. Listen, Greymark, thank you for your help as always. I'm still weary of this, but you've given me no reason not to trust you. I suppose you're. God. I want to hug you and also just shake my little tiny imp fist at you. Do you want anything else from me?
Let's be honest. What choice do you have at this point?
I know, it's so true. I hate it. Oh, God. Is there anything else we need to talk about, or can I go? Because I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Go right ahead. I have everything more or less taken care of. I don't recommend you all sticking around too long, because the longer you're here, the more likely it is you're going to get seen. And I can't do what I do if you are directly in their clutches.
All right. Well,
at this point, it's unlikely they'll even try to capture you. They'll probably just try to kill you all on sight.
Oh, good. Oh, good. That's really good to know. Listen, it's been a pleasure doing business with you, and I hold out my little imp hand to shake his.
He holds out his hand and shakes as well. His hand is cold. Like he's got, like bad circulation cold hands.
Oh, yeah. One last thing before I go. Gearforge possessed by like weird dark necromancy demons. Do you know anything about that?
You faced down some Fellforged.
Fellforged? Is that a concern of mine, or that's pretty normal around here?
Well, you destroyed them, so that's good. So instead of containing the soul of a humanoid, as most of your kind do, these contain the soul of the hateful dead, wraiths or specters of the like, and bound them into service. It serves a twofold purpose. One, it takes a horrible monster that would be running around draining life out of people and probably making more undead, getting it off the street or graveyard or crypt or wherever the hell's it's lurking, and stuffs it into a box where the authorities can keep an eye on it and makes it work for them. So, win-win, right?
All right, so there's nothing weird going on with these sun people.
Of course, you let two of them out, so who knows how that'll work out.
Not my problem. The sun people are the ones that trapped them, not me. So, okay, well, cool. This was fun.
No, that wasn't the Order of the Undying Sun that made those. No.
Oh, what was it?
They're relatively small players in this city's infrastructure. Their influence is damaged over the last century or so. Their order chose the wrong side during the revolt, so they're not well liked here, which is why I was able to stymie so many of their efforts.
Good to know, I suppose. Okay, so who made those things? The other city people?
Oh, I'm not sure exactly who made them. I suspect it was the government of Zobek in collaboration with the Church of Rava. It's always the Church of Rava who's involved in the creation of gear.
Always, yeah.
Pretty much the only way to go about it. Anyway, you best get moving along.
Okay. I'm going. Thank you. Bye.
So, make me a wisdom insight check, please.
Okay. Real quick, I just want to say The Hateful Dead is an awesome metal Grateful Dead cover band.
Uh-huh, yeah.
You said insight? Sorry.
Wisdom insight, please.
Oh, I got a 19.
Nice. My computer is freaking out, so I'm having an issue here. One moment. You got how good? I'm sorry.
A 19.
A 19. That's pretty good. All right. So he, as far as you can tell, he's being sincere and above board. Obviously, he's holding a few cards pretty close to his chest, but you don't get the feeling that he's outright lying to you anywhere. So
okay. So there's nothing like malicious happening.
No, it doesn't seem malicious at all.
Okay. All right. Okay, I release Edwin back to Edwin.
So he kind of shivers and shudders and goes, "Oh, that was interesting. Kay, gotta go by," and flutters up and out of the house. And you hear a soft, sort of deep-voiced chuckle coming from the man standing in his kitchen as Edwin makes his way out. So, being that it is now 11 o'clock Eastern time, I think that is where we have to call it for this evening.
Oh, man.
Damn it.
Yes, indeed.
Look at the time.
Oh, God.
Look at the time. Look at the time.
Oh, my God, that was a lot.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna be training some sex workers to be rangers over the next few days. So
fantastic! I love it. I love it.
Diversify your portfolio. Yeah, man, that was that was a whole thing. Well, hopefully you guys there in the chat have enjoyed tonight's episode of the World Tree Burns. If you did, let us know. Of course, join us every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern for more of this goodness. We spent 3 seasons in Zobek. Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? We don't just want to leave home.
Who are we gonna smite?
I'm excited to. Yeah,
that is something that we as a group should talk about in the coming week. Like, what the hell is your plan? Where are you going? So I can
what the hell are you guys doing?
So I can plan a little bit, please.
Tell me? Can someone please let me on the plan as well? Because
tell me.
Is there a plan?
I kept trying to be like, are we? And then we.
I think the only plan we have is up to Oberstein now, and then I think we were going to try to figure out when we got to that city. That's my assumption.
Let's just set up our own fuckhouse with blackjack and hookers.
That's what I've been saying this whole time.
We've already got the staff. I mean,
we'll have a petting zoo with all the pets.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, on that bombshell, let's go around the cast and the crew. Do we enjoy ourselves tonight? Where can we find you guys? Dan, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Dan_Dylan_1. I am a game designer on the Dungeons & Dragons team at Wizards of the Coast, and I am super excited to be continuing to run this game here on the Kobold Press Network.
Fantastic stuff. Loving it.
As far as, tonight was great, actually. Sorry, my brain fuzzed out for a second. I've got DM brain. No, it was fun. I never know what you yahoos are going to end up with when we have one of these sort of sandbox type episodes where it's sort of the ball's in your court. We'll see what happens. So I definitely did not expect Cloak to shuck his red hat, his red cloak, and go naked out into the world for Grandma to see. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was big. Well, speaking of Cloak, McGugan, how's that tonight for you? And big episode for Cloak. It's finally seen his face.
Yeah, you got to see Cloak's face. I'm the Cloak, and you might recognize me from "Dude, Where's My Bag?" or to Grandmother's House We Go. I
was sure I saw you in that production of Much Ado About Nothings.
Well,
that was last week, okay? New production. I was thinking about what I was going to do this whole time because I for sure knew that we got made. The one thing I thought it was because of the fucking Gear Forged or Fell Forged or whatever. It was a blast. I was like, I'm really the only one who can go out. I don't think anyone has like a disguise kit or anything to like look different except for me because I always wore the same thing. Even when we were in the bathhouse, Cloak never took off his cloak or his mask. He wore it in there.
Yep.
But the horror movie vibe that I got from when he was walking out there by himself was fucking frightening. Like visually in my head, I was like, "This is a nightmare." And that was great, Dan. I loved it.
Thank you.
I had a blast tonight. So yeah, that's me, McLokin.
Fantastic stuff. And Simply, how was that tonight for you and Tilly?
It was good. I mean, admittedly, Tilly is neither wise nor intelligent, so letting her make plans is
a great idea.
Please do. So it's fun. It's fun to at least like try to find ways to debate with like dropping some sort of this would be fun to do, but also play it as like I don't know. You let me know when I gotta swing the hammer, you know. But I've had a great time, and where you can find me conveniently this weekend, you can see me in person at Artist Alley at TwitchCon. If you guys are going, I will be slinging some wares, including a shipment of Tamagotchi air fresheners that just came in the mail today, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, other than that, it's weird. I don't look cool. Other than that, mostly just on Twitter at simplyjxn or Instagram at simply_jxn. Thank you.
Cool. Fantastic. And Birdie, how was that tonight for you and Landis?
Oh man, I don't know. Like Landis is feeling real sad and defeated right now. Like everyone's being mean to him, and he can't hang out with Edwin, and he got his house stolen out from underneath him. And he's just like. Now he's just gotta go along with the shit, and he's not used to that. He's his own man, so he's feeling a little bit down in the dumps. But hopefully, a good old trip in the salty sea will help, because that's not gonna do anything bad for all his gears and whirs and whatnot. Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Birdie, aka the Birdiesaurus, and new October schedule will be coming out very soon for all the fun stuff I'm doing next month for the spoops. They just announced the big Nerdsmith, like 12-part Avernus monstrous, like crazy mini night thing. I don't know. I'm in one of them. It'll be on my schedule. Look for that pinned tweet on my Twitter. And today is Tuesday, so the next thing is Friday, which is Encounter Roleplays on the Block. Except for this week, it's not on the block. We're playing Aliens, the new Aliens RPG pre-release module. Yeah, so it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be. I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
Did you get that from Area 51?
What?
Did you get that new rule set from Area 51?
Yeah, did you rate it?
No, that's not where it comes from. But we are doing an Area 51 raid themed episode, so it'll be fun.
Yes.
There it is. Fantastic stuff, and I'm not involved at all, and I can say that channel is probably fantastic. So yeah, go check it out. That's my plug for the day. But Skull, I'm off out there tonight for you and for the wonderful Rowan.
That was a lot, but it was a lot to last week, where I was just scared that we were going to have all-out PvP between Dad and other Dad. So
Robo Dad.
My two dads.
That's a very
My two
different
dads,
show.
Who I am both older than. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where we go and what's going to happen and where we find more heretics to smite. I am Scarlet Moth. You can find me on Twitter at that Scarlet Moth. I'm a bit quiet at the moment just because I've had some family stuff going on, but I normally do art and cosplay, D&D stuff, and if you're coming to PAX Oz down in Australia next month, then I will be doing a panel on the Friday about playing D&D in the online era with such wonderful people as DW Dagon, who is a DM's Guild writer, Alex Catu, who also does some amazing stuff, as well as the wonderful Alyssa Grant, who is the senior producer of Acquisitions Inc. Acquisitions Inc. I've been talking through my beak too much. So now I'm gonna go. Yeah.
I feel like it's been a long night. We've been trying to figure out plans, and it's been one of those thinker episodes where we're all a bit brain dead now, but a week's break I think will do us all good. We'll come back refreshed and we'll knock this plan out of the park and we'll save Midgard and the World Tree, and nothing bad will happen to any of the people that we like.
And we will not get arrested.
Not getting arrested is also on the agenda, yes. Well, maybe for Eden. He probably deserves to be. But yeah, that is all we have for tonight, my friends.
Not that type of handcuffs.
No, of course. But that's all we've got time for tonight. We're back on Sunday with one of the last here on Kobold Press. So if you haven't followed the channel yet, go ahead and follow it and you get notifications when we go live 3 times a week. But until then, my friends, try not to roll too many out while we'll be enjoying. We do. Bye, buddy. See you later.
Goodbye, friends.